It's arguing, right, that it is the fault of undocumented immigrants for having their constitutional and human rights violated because they were the ones that entered into this country with the use of undocumented means to begin with, is like saying it's the fault of a woman that got raped at a party last night for wearing a short skirt.
Okay, so you're saying that it's only helping the country. What about the illegal immigrants who are truck drivers, who don't have a CDL license, who are killing families because they don't know how to drive these semi-trucks?
So there's not a single state in this country where an undocumented immigrant can get a CDL license. So what you're suggesting here would be a crime that should be condemned, a crime that should be punished, and a crime that individuals should be held accountable for. And if we do want to hold people accountable for crimes, right? Well, I mean, I think the buck shouldn't stop at undocumented immigrants. Why don't we include the president in the picture here, right? You as a Trump supporter willingly elected him as president, which led to him not being held accountable for his 34 felonies. You as a Trump supporter willingly elected him for president, even though a court had adjudicated him as a rapist. You as a Trump supporter willingly elected him as president and still support him today, even though he's boasted about the sexual exploitation of women and girls at the pageant he owned back in the 90s and early 2000s, 20 years ago, right? So why does the buck stop at undocumented immigrants? Why don't you want to hold the 34 count felon adjudicated rapist that's serving as our president accountable for his crimes?
If you really look at it, every single president, if you really want to look at it, every single president has something under the belt. Joe Biden,
actually,
he
Donald
touched
Trump
his daughter. She said that in his book.
So Donald Trump is the first felon that we've ever had serve as our president. So I don't know if that's going to be true. And now you're saying that, well, Joe Biden had touched his daughter. So I actually don't think that claim is verified, and I could give you my reasons why. But I think more so what I want to be able to focus on here is if Joe Biden did do something to Ashley Biden, well, then I wouldn't support him as president anymore. So why can't you stop supporting Trump as president, considering the fact that he was held civilly liable for raping E. Jean Carroll?
And where's your proof on that?
Yeah, the outcome of a civil court. A court determined that in 2023. But honestly, you shouldn't know anything. You shouldn't need anything more than E. Jean Carroll's testimony, since you are using the supposed quote-unquote testimony of Ashley Biden to confirm that claim about Joe.
So don't you have to have a completely clean record to become the president of the United States?
No.
Isn't that a thing?
No, it's not a thing. Now, can you please respond to what I just said?
I'm sorry. To be honest, I wasn't listening.
Okay, well, just next time you ask me a question, make sure that you're listening to my answer, because it could be important. I'll repeat it, right? So once again, you said that Joe Biden had done things with Ashley Biden. Personally, I don't agree. I think that there's good reason to not agree either and to treat that claim as unverified. But if he did do those things to Ashley Biden, I would not support him as president. So my question to you would be, well, since Donald Trump was held civilly liable for the rape of E. Jean Carroll, would you look at that similarly to the way you look at what you think Joe Biden did to Ashley Biden? And would you argue that you should stop supporting him as president, considering the fact that he raped a woman?
If you believe that that's the case.
Do you believe that's the case?
I don't believe that that's the case. I do believe that Joe Biden did that because.
So you think we have more evidence that Joe Biden had showered with Ashley Biden than we do have evidence that Donald Trump raped E. Jean Carroll? So what court determined that
Yes,
Joe
100%.
Biden? So what court determined that Joe Biden had showered with Ashley Biden?
Well, you see, the Republicans aren't like the Democrats. They're not going to go and look for anything to deteriorate a president. Y'all kind of.
So is the answer to that question that no court's determined that Joe Biden showered with Ashley Biden? Well, a court unanimously determined that Donald Trump raped E. Jean Carroll.
Said Ashley Biden said in her book.
Oh, okay. Well, if your
touched
standard baseline of evidence to believe something is true would just be like the accusation, well, then why don't you believe the accusation that E. Jean Carroll made against Trump?
Because there's no evidence.
Oh, wait. So now you're saying it has to be an accusation plus evidence. So we have the accusation that you think we have from Ashley Biden. I actually dispute that. We're going to assume that it's true just for the next 30 seconds. So if Ashley Biden's accusation, what is the evidence to back it up?
Her word of mouth.
So
and the fact that
if the word of mouth...
Was that a vape, Dean?
No, it's an anxiety pin. Be quiet. So if the word of mouth is the evidence in of itself, then wouldn't E. Jean Carroll's word of mouth be the evidence in of itself?
If there was any proof that Trump has done anything like that
But I
at
just
all
asked
ever.
you for what the proof or the evidence would be to back up Ashley Biden's quote unquote testimony.
Have you
And
not
said
seen Joe Biden being a creep towards children? Have you never seen the pictures
just
of
listen
that
to what I'm saying
or
real
the
quick.
videos of
Just
that?
listen to what I'm saying real quick. So I asked you what the proof or the evidence was to back up Ashley Biden's supposed testimony that she had showered with Joe Biden, and you said the evidence and proof to back that accusation up was her word of mouth. So therefore, why don't you accept the evidence or the proof of E. Jean Carroll's accusation to be her own word of mouth, just like you'd be positing in the circumstance of Ashley Biden?
Because Ashley Biden is a family member of Joe Biden who has always been seen with Joe Biden. Whoever this is who made the rape accusation of Trump, I've never heard of her before, and that might be on me to be 100% honest.
So you'd argue here that
But
if E. Jean Carroll was seen with Trump, then you'd believe it.
if it was, depends on how she acts around Trump.
What do you mean by that?
If she acts friendly and
Wait,
loving towards Trump,
why didn't you ask these same questions as it related to Ashley Biden?
I'm sorry, can you elaborate more on that?
Yeah, why didn't you ask these same questions? Like, how does Ashley Biden operate and work around Joe?
Honestly, I haven't seen. I didn't try to keep up
Okay,
with
so
Joe
you'd
Biden
say
very much
that
because
the claim, right, of you believing or not believing that Donald Trump raped E. Jean Carroll would hinge on how E. Jean Carroll works around Donald Trump, yet you don't know how Ashley Biden works around Joe Biden, yet you believe that Joe Biden showered with her. Listen, at the end of the day, man, I think what is driving your conclusions is not evidence nor good reason, but rather your own political bias. So when we're talking about Ashley Biden and Joe Biden, the reason why I say that claim is unverified is because her diary, where that supposed claim was made in, was stolen from her by Project Veritas, who has a track record on manipulating political documents that they get on political opponents to be against the favor of their political opponents. And then Ashley Biden said in a letter under deposition to a court that there had been false allegations lobbed at her as well as the people that she cares about. And we haven't had a handwriting expert even verify, right, that the texts in that diary saying that she showered with Joe Biden were even real. And then when we're talking about E. Jean Carroll, well, I mean, E. Jean Carroll's kept the same consistent testimony forever now, right? She was able to take it to court and prove that Donald Trump had raped her to 9 unanimous jurors. Plus, I mean, Donald Trump's character absolutely backs up that's something that he would do. Not only do we have his own inconsistencies inside of that court case, like when he lied about never meeting her, which, she then responded to with a picture of them together, or when he lied about her not being his type, then confused a picture of his ex-wife who was his type to be a picture of her, or, other things that he's done in his past, like boasting about sexually exploiting women and girls while they're naked at Miss Teen USA, Miss USA in 2005. That's something a rapist would do. Calling a woman piggy, that's something a rapist would do. That's a way a rapist would treat women. Saying that he could just grab a woman by the P word and he doesn't even need to ask first. He did that on the Access Hollywood tapes. That's something a rapist would say. Being best buddies with Epstein, knowing what Epstein is doing, right, according to a new email that we have that Epstein had sent to Ghislaine Maxwell in 2011, and sending him a letter depicting the naked body of a little girl with a statement, "May every new day be another wonderful secret." That's definitely something a rapist would do. So I would say because of these facts
so why
and
didn't
more,
Joe
we
Biden and
definitely
Kamala
know.
Harris release those?
One moment. Because of these facts and more, we definitely know, right, that Donald Trump did that to E. Jean Carroll. And now your follow-up question is, well, why didn't Joe Biden and Kamala Harris release the Epstein files? Before we have a conversation about the Epstein files, let's finish this conversation out about Donald Trump raping E. Jean Carroll. I just gave you an insurmountable amount of evidence to justify that that occurred, ranging from the outcome of that court case and the evidence submitted inside it, including Donald Trump's own inconsistencies and lies with his deposition and testimony inside of that court case, then other facts of his character, ranging from things he's said to things he's done, like committing sexual exploitation, to saying that it's okay to grab women by the P word without asking first. Please respond to that.
honestly, I don't care about that. Like, okay, that's gonna sound really bad.
Right. So then you take the mask off.
No.
Yeah. Then you take the mask off. Well,
No, no.
I don't care that the president raped a woman. Yeah. No, we know, dude. We know. I mean, obviously you don't care. Thank you for finally admitting it, though. You don't care about sexual violence against women and girls, right?
Oh gosh, Dean, I don't even know that much about politics. I just really wanted to debate you. But I mean, cool, I guess. Can we talk about something else now? Because you kind of beat me on that. You kind of kind of beat me on that side, and I don't really know much about politics, so I'm just going to accept defeat on that part.
Yeah, for sure. We could talk about like whatever motivations you have to support Trump as president, but before I allow you to move on, I just want to make it explicitly clear: the president raping a woman should be enough to stop supporting them.
Sure, Dean, sure. Okay, so we're going to move on to another topic.
Yeah, before we do, once again, want to make it clear that should be enough.
I said sure, Dean.
We shouldn't really need to move on to a different topic, but I mean, I'm down.
Okay. How much money exactly did Joe Biden and Kamala Harris send to Israel during their presidency?
I'm not sure of the total dollar amount.
Okay, so instead of President Trump sending money to him, or at least not sending as much money to Israel.
How do you know that he sent less money to Israel?
Because he didn't nearly have as much time in presidency during that war. And he said in an interview, I believe, that because during that sending...
When did he say this?
He actually signed a peace deal on that.
So that sounds like really like counterintuitive to everything else that Trump has said. He said he's the most pro-Israel president that this country's ever had, and that Kamala Harris was going to have pro-Hamas radicals running her foreign policy, and that he actually really condemned the restrictions that the Biden-Harris administration put minimally on some weapon shipments, and condemned the arms embargo present at the end of their administration. So him saying that he's sent less money to Israel in an interview sounds really out of character in contrast to these other facts. So could you please give me a source that he said that in an interview?
I believe it was a couple months ago on a Fox interview.
Okay, so please show it to me. Please give me a source.
Can I go and look it up real quick?
Yeah, I mean, this is an open book test. You could use any means to your disposal to try to find evidence for your BS claim. That's fine. While he's doing that, Adam, thank you so much for the $20 over on YouTube. I appreciate you for that love, Adam. Make sure to show some love to Adam down below in the chat for the big 20, who says, for those that can understand logic, thanks, Dean. Shout out to my wife, Iris, for me. This dude is insane. Yo, shout out to Iris. Adam and Iris, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope that y'all are doing well. Appreciate you for being here. And thank you guys so much for the love. Kayla, thank you for the $5. I really appreciate you so much for the love, Kayla. And Juliana, thank you for the $20 over on Venmo for the anxiety pin. Appreciate you for that, Juliana. Let's get 200 big Juliana W's down below in that chat for the big $20. Thank you so much. As well as Maisie, thank you for the $2. And Oscar, thank you for the $11 and the 11 cents on Venmo 22 minutes ago, who says, am I the first dono? Yes, you are, Oscar. Thank you so much for the $11. And then Dennis, thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal. He says, don't forget the quote-unquote grab them by the P word, and you have to use the Raffenberger's call, quote-unquote find me votes. Yeah, well, I mean, we definitely brought up the grab him by the P word line. I mean, without asking first. That is, by the way, what he did to E. Jean Carroll, and that's why he is a rapist. Sasha, thank you for the $3 over on PayPal. And then Laura, thank you for the $25 over on PayPal 32 minutes ago. Appreciate you guys so much for the love. Make sure to show some love to our downers down below. So while this goofy guy down here, okay, Anthony, I'm going to ban you from my queue right now. Block, ban, confirm. I've already told you multiple times to stay out of the queue, knowing that you're not a Trump supporter. So at this point, we are just going to go to ban you. And we're also going to go to get another Trump supporter up here to talk to while this goofy guy is down there looking for a source. What's going on, user? Do you support this terrible president?
No, wait. I've got a question.
No. You're banned. We're only looking to talk to Trump supporters. Let's go to get that next one up in here. Literally right now, folks. Oh, it actually looks like Caden is back. Is he? He's not. Okay. And by the way, I just took note of what you guys are spamming in that chat. If there's any evidence of that, feel free to drop it in the live channel in my Discord. I'll go and pull that up now.
Yo, can I give you a Trump policy that we both agree with?
Juggernaut, are you a Trump supporter?
Can I give you a Trump policy we both agree with?
You're going to answer my question, Juggernaut. Are you a Trump supporter?
I ask you first.
No, you don't. I ask you first.
Proverbs 28:1, the wicked flee.
So are you a Trump supporter?
I'm a Jill Stein supporter.
You're fucking embarrassing.
Am I?
Yeah, because you support a Russian shill. By the way, where is Jill Stein at?
That's actually, last I checked, that's Democratic
Can
propaganda.
I ask you right now where
Can
Jill
you
Stein...
cite your source on that and not use propaganda sites?
Yeah, for sure. The dinner that she had with Putin at the Kremlin. So anyways, where's Jill Stein at? Can I just ask you, where's Jill Stein at? Where's she at? What happened to her? Why does she like disappear for 4 years then? Every
Oh, you
election
muted
cycle.
me.
we
That's a
appear.
form of running.
Can
I
you,
love the
can you answer my
fact-
question? I think the only
I
form of
love
running
the
that we're
fact
all
that you use call control to try and dominate your stream. It's,
I think the only form of running that we're observing right now is you running away from the question. Where the hell is Jill Stein? Maybe Jill
that's the
Stein's
second
running.
mute. I want to point out the second mute.
Yeah,
you
so
just did.
I mute people and they don't answer my questions to get them back on track. Can you answer my question?
Yeah, imagine a diplomat actually having
Oh.
diplomacy.
Oh, you're not answering my question.
Shocker.
Sir, you're not answering my question. Where's Jill Stein?
No, I was addressing the comment you made first
okay.
about her having
okay.
dinner with Putin.
Can you please now
You
answer?
can flee all you like.
Could you please now answer the question that I asked you?
Do you want Israel to annex the West Bank?
Oh, no, I don't. So I answered your question. Can you now answer mine?
Okay,
Where's Jill
so
Stein
then
at?
Trump and Vance.
Could you please tell me where Jill Stein is at? Where's she at?
Yo, why are you running so much?
You're running. I'm asking you a question that you're not answering.
No, I'm not. I came up here.
Yes, you are running. I've been asking you where the hell is Jill Stein at now for like the last 2 minutes. You asked me a question in between saying, do you want Israel to annex the West Bank? I went out of my
And-
way to allow you to momentarily pivot, and I answered your
Still
question.
muting.
Yeah, I am, because I'm speaking and you're interrupting. So at this point in time, I am going to go ahead and have you answer my question. Where's Jill Stein at?
Where's Kamala?
Okay, so you're not going to answer my question? I just want to be clear.
I answered your question with a question.
Oh, yeah, but guess what? You can't do that because a question's not an answer. Silly goose.
I
So
used the
where's Jill
same
Stein at?
disingenuous standard you just used.
Oh, okay. So you'd posit that my question by nature is disingenuous, therefore you're going to avoid it? Well, I think that you quoted Proverbs when you said that the wicked flee, and you're fleeing and running away from my question, sir. So take care, Mr. Wicked. What is going on? Welcome back, Hayden. Were you able to find that source?
Yes. So according to PBS.org, the Biden administration sent $17.9 billion to Israel in sales for firearms, stuff like that. The Trump administration sent $12 billion, which is quite a significant difference. And Trump actually signed a peace deal promising peace in Gaza.
The question was, where did Trump say that like he's sending less money to Israel right now than the Biden-Harris administration did? And I'd full-heartedly and totally expect, right, the Trump administration to spend or to send less money to Israel in 10 months than they did in 4 years, silly goose. Okay, well, you left, so we're going to move on to the next guest at this point in time. Let me go and check that Discord. Yeah, it looked like he was following kids. All right, well, we kicked him, so. Ran away. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. All right. You come up here about like every other month or two, but you never give me an argument for why you support Trump as president. Do you want to give me one now?
Yeah, because he's running for the GOP, the Groipa Party. Young Groipa.
Wait, you think that
Taking over the party.
You think that the GOP's the Groiper Party?
It will be, yeah. It's turning into it shortly.
Yeah, Nick Fuentes would point
Give
you
us
and laugh
5,
for
10
saying
years.
that.
Give us 10 years.
Yeah. Your Lord and Savior, Nick Fuentes,
You watch the
would laugh
show?
at you for saying that.
And that's where I got it from, so I guess not. You don't watch the show.
Well, shit. Oh, fuck, dude. You're right. Maybe I just need to go watch some more Nick Fuentes, right? You know, just subject myself, right, to mental torture for like 3 hours, listening to some grown man baby whine about how black people suck and women need to shut the fuck up. I mean, just sounds like super, super great. Oh, totally, dude. Oh, my God. What's up? Do you support Trump? Hello?
Oh snap, you brought me on. Sorry, I didn't realize
Do you support
I was
Trump?
in there. Somewhat.
Knowing everything that you do now, if you were teleported back to last November, would you still vote for him?
Hard to answer that, honestly.
What?
I said it's hard to answer that, honestly, from everything I know now.
All right, sounds good. Well, then you do have a good rest of your day. I wish that it wasn't hard for you to answer that question, considering the fact that I've talked to you multiple times. I even had like a panel discussion with you and like 4 or 5 other people on Santana's Live, and you're just still fence sitting. I honestly don't think another conversation with you would change much. Hello, do you support Trump?
Somewhat hate
Somewhat.
mixed with them.
What?
Love and hate with them.
Love and hate
He's-
with Trump. So,
Yeah.
knowing everything that you do now, if you were teleported back to last November, who'd you vote for?
To last November, if I had to vote, probably none at the state of America
Okay. All right. Well, we are just looking to talk to people that still support Trump. We might also just hit a super quick restart on the stream. We might just hit a super quick restart on the stream because we did just get a flag. And also, it looks like really grainy on my phone for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe my internet is struggling today. So if you're hanging out with us on YouTube, we're not going to go anywhere. You could just stay here. Now, if you're hanging out with us on TikTok, we are just going to go ahead and hit a quick restart on the stream because of a flag that we just got off of your standard of evidence. Apparently, I don't even need any. I mean, how are you going to expect me, right, to, like, bend the knee and give you evidence of the things that I say when I request evidence from you for things that you say I don't need it?
I mean, because, like, you know, I heard it on the news. I don't have, like, the evidence on me right now because I'm on live, right? But with the withdrawal, I saw that 12 Marines died. I'm not sure if it was 12 Marines exactly. But, I mean, if you're withdrawing, like, if you're the president, man, you have to take care of the people in there first. Like, you have to, you know, tell these people, hey, you better not mess with us, right?
So what if Biden turned around and he, like, called the person that, like, killed those Marines patriots? Would that be, like, terrible?
What? What are you saying?
That would be, like, so, like, anti-American. Like, how anti-American would it be to, like, call somebody or to call a group of people that either killed or tried to kill members of our law enforcement or members of our military patriots? How anti-American would that be?
I mean, what was the cause?
What do you mean?
Like, were they? I don't get where you're trying to get here.
Yeah,
like,
thank you for the motorcycles. Good to see you. Good to see you, Kat.
You're talking about January 6th, right?
Whoa, wait. So you're now making a connection between Trump and calling people that try to kill law enforcement patriots?
Because that's what liberals say.
Kat, thank you so much for all the motorcycles. I really appreciate you with the love.
Fake donation.
What do you mean? What a fake fucking donation are you? You see it on your screen.
I mean, those are bot accounts.
What? Like,
you see how many,
thank you so much for all the motorcycles, Kat. I really appreciate it. Please show some love to Kat in the chat. Like, I understand, right? Like, sometimes people like that'll come up here will like call them fake donations when they're in Venmo and PayPal because you don't actually see them. I'm just reading them off. But like, you could literally see like those donations on your phone screen as well as you can see the account that sent them. Right? Wait, you think that I'm laundering money through my donations?
Of course, that's easy. Come on now.
Wait, how would that be easy?
I mean,
like for instance, Laughing Leslie, thank you so much for the $20 over on Super Chat.
How do I turn off these effects?
Yo, Kat! Thank you so much for the Rose Nebula. Thank you so much, Kat. W money laundering. W fake DNC bot. Let's fucking go. Show some love to Kat. And show some love to Leslie. And Leslie, appreciate you for the $20 on Super Chat. You says, I hear a lot of weird things on here, but quote unquote only liberals think METH is bad. Takes the cake, I gotta say. Jenny, thank you so much for the motorcycle too. Krista, thank you so much for the $5 over on Venmo for the fake donation. Sonny with a $25 over on PayPal. He says from your favorite bot account. When you did see it from Kat, you still called it fake. Shut up. Thank you for the $25, Sonny. I want to see 250 Sonny W's, as well as Christina with a $5. Tree with a $25. Thank you so much for the love, Tree. And Edgar with a $5. Dennis with a 10. Kayla with a 5. Thank you guys so much for all the love.
How can you make up so many names?
Oh my God.
Holy.
Wait. Erica, thank you for the $50 over on PayPal for the fake donation. Quote unquote bot money laundering donation for the DNC. Wait, you think it's fake?
Yes.
Then explain this.
That says -50 that out of your account. Come on now. It doesn't say +50.
Can you not read?
You see that negative?
That's a plus sign, buddy.
I mean, we can't see it. It's blurry. But I'll believe you. It's probably your girlfriend on another account or whatever.
Dude, this guy's got to be trolling. Thank you so much for the $50, Erica. I want to see 500 Erica W's down below in that chat. Seriously, thank you so much for the love. And Kevin, thank you for the $100 over on Venmo.
I can't believe
Holy
this got
shit,
into
Kevin.
the White House. Holy.
Shh. Pipe down, sub 5. I need to thank Kevin. Thank you so much for your kindness and your generosity. I know, and you didn't say you. You didn't say that you didn't say that you mogged me, so I appreciate you for acknowledging reality. Kevin with $100 says a non-bot account. Thank you for putting up with all the MAGA a brain rot. I don't know how you endure this nonsense. Honestly, I'm used to it at this point, but thank you so much for the love, bro. That is seriously insane. And then Olivia, thank you for the $20 over on Venmo, who says, making
Are
this
these fake
donation on behalf
donations
of my
to
Republican
Blaze
father.
Biden?
He got him. Let's go, Olivia. Thank you so much for the $20. Shane, thank you so much for the $10. Who says, because I'm totally a bot launderer, right? Juliana, thank you for the $10 just to piss him off. Rosa, thank you for the 50 cents over on PayPal. Be quiet, sub 5. Mark, thank you for the $17 over on PayPal to help out with a money laundering scheme. Thank you so much, Mark. Danielle, thank you for the $25 on PayPal, who says this guy was on Parker's live last night and got rocked. He must have a humiliation
didn't.
kink. He's a
I helped with
masochist
him.
for real. Heather, thank you for the $5 as well. He says yet another donation from a DNC bot. Raul, thank you for the $10 on Super Chat. And Noodles, thank you for the $20 on Super Chat, who says, I'm a bot here to help you launder money. Let's go, Noodles. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys all so much for the love. Now, do you want to stop the cope and get back to the debate on politics? Because the crashing out over the
Yes.
donations is kind of annoying.
Yeah, man. It was kind of annoying that you just ranted for like 10 whole minutes about donations, but okay.
I was
so,
thanking the people that donated to me, and that's something I'll never stop doing.
fake donations, but okay. Listen.
You're just
Trump?
saying that to cope.
No,
Yes.
it's only the truth. Come on.
So what
now.
is your evidence that they're fake?
These people are botted. Like all these people are
How do you know
probably
that?
bots.
How do you know that?
Because I mean, they're not typing. Like these people, I've never seen them type. These names I've never they never pop up.
Do you not see the chat right now?
Yeah, but like the donations, like the names you said, like the made up names you said, like I don't see them at all.
So people have screen names. Like, for instance, somebody's name in the chat is Headmaster Mask. Do you think, like, it says Headmaster Mask on their birth certificate?
That's a bot name, but yeah,
It's a screen name, right? So it's like, or Rainbow Roses 79. Like, people don't just
That's
put like
LGBTQ.
their full name as their username in all scenarios.
Okay, let's talk about the border, right? So how do you feel about 20 illegal aliens coming through the border?
Do you say 20?
Yeah, probably 30, 20, 25.
Oh, how do I feel about 25 undocumented immigrants coming into this country? I couldn't care
Million.
less. Oh, million?
Yeah.
So you think that there's 25 million undocumented immigrants that came
probably
into
like
this country
50
under the Biden-Harris administration?
Yeah, in total, there's probably around like 100 million people.
You think that there's 100 million undocumented immigrants in America? Million!
Like my neighbor, but he's actually a good neighbor, so I'm not calling it on him.
Wait. So how many Americans are there?
I'll probably say, I'm not a 350 million.
Right
Good
around
number.
350. It's like 340.
Being smart.
So you're saying that right under a third of the people in this country are undocumented immigrants?
Yeah, for sure, man. There's too many. Like my neighbors are immigrants. I'm nice to them though. Like they have some good
Wait,
carne
you
asada.
said that they're immigrants.
Yeah, I know it.
Right. So we're talking about undocumented immigrants.
That's what I'm talking about. When I say immigrants, I'm talking about undocumented immigrants. Because if you have legal
So
papers,
if there's 100 million undocumented immigrants in this country, and Donald Trump wants to deport every undocumented immigrant in America, then you're telling us that Donald Trump wants to remove 1/3 of the people in this country. Now, don't you think that would be devastating for our economy to remove 1/3 of the people here?
I mean, it will be good for the American people because that would actually open up more jobs, more housing. Because if you've seen the houses have
Who's
here
gonna?
in Miami.
Well, listen, man. You
they're
said it's going to
way
open up more jobs. Well, jobs are only a means to the end of producing more profit for the company. And when American companies are losing like 1/3 of their demand, they can actually scale down on their jobs.
But I mean, these people that come here, they don't pay taxes. They don't. So we can't be having people that.
So 1/3 of people in America don't pay taxes.
Yeah, bro. They don't pay taxes. They don't help the country.
So if 1/3 of the people in this country didn't pay taxes, that'd be really easy to prove. What's your proof?
My proof is undocumented immigrants getting cash instead of paychecks, and they don't file.
Wait, so you think that 1/3 of the people in this country are paid under the table?
For sure.
So that's
Especially
that is a nationwide epidemic Okay, if 1/3 of the
King
people
Trump
in
is
this
actually fixing
country
it.
were paid under the table, then that would be a declared nationwide epidemic that everyone would be talking about. So why has no one talked about this but you?
I mean, King Trump has.
No, even quote unquote King Trump has never said that 1/3 of the people in this country are not taxpayers.
I mean, he's obviously not gonna say that because if there's no actual evidence of 100, let's say it's like 20 million people. I mean, he's taking them all out,
Oh,
right?
wait.
That's
So you're saying
amazing.
that there's no
I like
actual
how
evidence?
he catches them. It's like
Wait,
Pokemon cards.
you're saying that there's no actual evidence?
I mean, there's no actual evidence, but there's.
Okay. So if we could just say things with no actual evidence, then I'll say that there's not a single undocumented immigrant in America.
I mean, starting with you, you're one.
I'm an undocumented immigrant?
Yeah, you look like you're
Galaxy.
European or something.
I think that this
You dye
guy
your hair because your hair looks like Trump's.
I think that this guy needs to be like needs to have his right to vote taken away from him.
Okay, so
I don't think that you should have a right to vote.
I don't think you should have a right to vote because you always vote left. So no.
Wait, how could I have a right to vote if I'm an undocumented immigrant?
Bro, why are you lagging?
How could I have a right to vote? If I'm
Fuck off.
undocumented, how can I vote?
Bro, this guy.
I think that's the one that did him in. I think he's gonna leave now.
So no, I'm not gonna leave.
So how could I have a right to vote if I'm an undocumented immigrant?
I mean, there's many undocumented immigrants in California that voted, right? They don't need to have ID once they vote.
So in order to vote, you need to be registered, and in order to register, you need to be a citizen.
Who says that?
Who says that? The electoral laws on the federal level and on the state level in every state.
So why do I know someone that was an immigrant, undocumented immigrant that voted in California?
Well, the easy answer to that is that you don't, and you're lying.
I'm not lying.
Yeah, you are.
I'm telling you the truth.
No, you're not.
I'll actually post proof. Watch.
Okay, do it right now.
I'm not because I'm in live. So if I go to my TikTok, it will take me out. But
How about this? I'll help you post that proof by kicking you from the live. So now you can turn around and go do it. Yeah? Yeah, I like that. That's good. What's up, Tracy? You support Trump?
I do, because I remember I had that conversation with you and Parker, and then I looked into it, and Trump didn't write it. He just reposted it.
Reposted what?
The execution. Remember the conversation we had about the execution of Democrats? And I said I don't support that because of what I was going through.
Jamie, thank you for the festivals.
But then I looked it up, and I went on Truth Social, and he just reposted it.
So I mean, he did repost a comment that said hang them, but he also directly said this is punishable by death.
Right, which isn't that though, like the punishable by death? That's in the military, right? Like, isn't that what is?
It is not punishable by death to suggest that our military only follow lawful orders. Blah, thank you for our festures. In fact, if that was punishable by death, then everybody that is taking the oath should be punished to death.
Maybe not
considering
now
the fact
in
that the
our
oath is a
time.
suggestion that the military should only follow lawful orders.
Okay, maybe not in our time, but like back then. So maybe like because he reposted that George Washington thing, so maybe that's what he meant.
George Washington wouldn't hang people for telling the military to only follow lawful orders, or else he would have hung the founders and the framers of the Constitution.
Okay, well, I'm saying I looked on it, and now I got a little bit of a better clear that like he wasn't the one to say it, and I think a lot of things are taken out of context, and I still hold my heart firm that I believe that government officials shouldn't be on social media.
Okay.
You know?
Well, I mean, listen, I don't think that I'm going to change your mind when you're telling us that you don't think he said it, right? When I just described how he did. But obviously, right, you don't support Trump because he didn't call for the execution of Democrats. You're going to have other reasons. So what I think is probably best for us to do at this time is for us to either continue to waste our time to try to convince you that he did call for the death penalty for Democrats, but rather for you to give us the reasons why you think Trump is a good president.
Okay, I think that he's a good president because I mean, look at we got the $1 trillion invested it into our nation, you know, into the United
The $1
States.
trillion.
And was
The
it
1 trillion.
was it
The 1 trillion.
was it
The $1
Saudi
trillion
Arabia?
dollars. Ma'am, it's not even 1 trillion. It's 10. It's $10 trillion. And tomorrow, it might just be 50. It might just be $50 trillion.
Yeah, but you know, it Saudi Arabia or who was it that invested? I forget now.
You know, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis and the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis, investment in American manufacturing has actually gone down.
What happened? I'm sorry, re-say that for me.
Investment in American manufacturing has actually gone down over the course of the last year.
But that's not what I was talking about the guy who gave us $1 trillion.
No one gave us
remember,
$1 trillion.
everybody was saying,
no one gave us $1 trillion.
yeah, they did. It was
Who gave us $1 trillion? Who gave us?
Let me find out because it's not was it Saudi Arabia or
Saudi
something
Arabia
like that?
didn't give us $1 trillion. They didn't.
Let me
they
check.
Didn't sign the
Let
check.
me check.
They didn't
Hold
sign
on.
the check. Okay. I'm holding. Okay. All right. Yo, G, thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal. Gabby, appreciate you so much for the $10 saying, here's $10 of fake money from my fake bank account. Thank you so much, Gabby. Alejandro, thank you for the $10 as well. Thank you so much, Alejandro. And then Lily, thank you so much for the 5. And let's see here. Who else?
Yeah, it was
Roberta,
Saudi
thank you for the
Arabia.
$5. Caleb with a 2. Madison with the $5 who says from a DNC bot, of course. Thank you so much. Andrew with a $5 from the DNC bot. And Olivia, thank you for the $20 on Venmo. I want to see 200 Olivia W's down below in that chat who says making another donation on behalf of my Republican mother-in-law. Let's go. Thank you so much for the $20, Olivia. Katie, thank you for the 10. Appreciate you for being here. And Sean, thank you for the $25 who says fresh batch of laundry is done. Shit, I mean, here's a donation. The DNC laundry basket is coming. Dude, we are laundering money today. Show some love to Sean in that chat. And oh my God, Nate, brother, thank you so much for the $150 donation on Venmo. Dude, Nate, it is so good to see you. Nate, if you don't know, right, is the stream pharmacist. Okay, he's always dropping in here, showing some love and sharing relevant information when we're having conversations about related topics to what he does for work. Nate, thank you so much for the $150, bro. That is so insanely kind of you. I do not deserve that much love. I want to see 1,500 Nate W's down below in that chat and 400 Jenny W's for the $40 as well, who says, I had to do the motorcycle for this guy. Here's more where you get the whole amount. Keep it up, Dean. Oh, Jenny, thank you so much for the $40. Show some love to Jenny down below. And there's a couple other people I'd like to thank too, but I'm going to allow this guest to continue to make their argument for the meantime, and I will get around to you guys in just one moment. But seriously, thank you all. Go ahead.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, I looked it up and so it says they invest approximately 1 trillion into US industries like technology, energy, and defense.
Yeah, so if we truly saw a $1 trillion investment into American industries, well, we'd see that reflected in the data from the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis of the amount of money being invested quarterly, right? Right? So like we know that that's not true. And this is only furthered by the fact that like our economy seems to be in a downturn. Inflation is up, unemployment is up, GDP growth is down, and investment in American businesses is down. So if we were truly getting these $1 trillion worth of stimulus into the American economy, we wouldn't see those reflected facts. And then when you also consider the fact that Donald Trump has reported different numbers, right, than the official White House website and their press releases, it becomes even more clear that this shit is bullshit.
Okay, but they did show he met with the Prince of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, and I'm sure that he's secured some level of investment into American industries over the course of the next 10 years, right? I just don't think that that level of investment is equivalent to $1 trillion. And I think that that investment is offset via the discouragement of investment from other private investors, proven via the stats we're getting from the Federal Reserve.
Okay. Well, I saw it and I just looked it up and it, like you said, it's not they didn't give it to us, but they invested in.
All right.
You
Well,
know,
I mean,
certain
hopefully
things.
everything I just said, right, is refuting the shit that you're saying.
That's the point of a debate, I guess.
Right. So do you want to like counter rebuttal to any of the points that I just made, or can I bring something else up?
Go ahead, bring something else up.
What is one thing Donald Trump could do that would make you stop supporting him?
let's see. That's kind of, I got to ponder on that a little bit because, I mean, like I said, I voted for Biden also. And
Do you mind if I just get a direct answer to the question I asked you, ma'am?
no, I'm trying to think about it, like, because, like, gonna say certain policies or whatever, but I mean, I really can't answer that question, but I can answer like.
Wait, come on.
why-
I'll answer it for like Biden. Murder, rape, sexual exploitation, right?
Well,
perversion.
obviously, if somebody murder or whatever, somebody, you know what I
like
mean?
if Donald Trump murdered, raped, or sexually exploited somebody, you'd stop supporting him?
I mean, yes, but when the grape cases that are in play right now, like the one that we were talking about, that what's that girl's name? That Eugene what?
Not Eugene. It'd be Eugene.
Eugene or whatever. I'm not too familiar, but I think that that's the thing when somebody does have money and stuff, and this is coming from someone that had those experiences, but there are women that attack men that are in a high position.
Yeah, and guess what? Those women that are just attacking men because they're in a high position, right, and they're making a false accusation, point number one, account for a very small minority. Meanwhile, they account for the only words that come out of your mouth when we have a conversation surrounding the topic of grape. And B, they don't take it to court, and C, if they do, they lose their case. Okay? Right? Eugene Carroll took it to court and proved him guilty.
Well, I have a different view on that because I've known people who have gotten like convicted for something they didn't do under someone's word.
Well, so the thing is the criminal justice system isn't always right, but it's usually right.
Right, but you're talking to someone who the police department threw me off and threw my case off because of certain evidence and whatever, and
wow, so you're just saying it's really hard to prove grape in court. So the fact that Eugene Carroll did should mean something.
I do believe that high people have more of, like, this was a higher person and he had more support than I did, but I feel
don't like these higher people also have more money to spend on more expensive lawyers?
Correct. They do. You are correct.
So if you're telling me, right, that it's really hard to prove grape in court and these like higher people have the most money ever to spend on the best lawyers ever, and Eugene Carroll still yet proved it in court, I mean, that should be case closed.
But all I have is my judgment, and the thing is like, I know people, like men that are like that, and like he just doesn't seem like that.
Just doesn't seem like he'd grape somebody. Honestly, let me tell you, you've intellectually defeated me. The best counter argument to the ruling from a court is just to say that he doesn't seem like the type of guy that would do it. Now, I actually want to, go forward in this conversation using an argument that I don't think you could deny with such sophistry, and it's something that you're more so going to have to address head on. So you told us that you would stop supporting him if he sexually exploited someone. You said that. So here's a thing.
Well, you asked me 3 things in there. Okay, go ahead.
You would stop supporting him if he sexually exploited someone, right?
I mean, if you found out that he raped somebody and that was, factual evidence, yes, I would.
So if Donald Trump sexually exploited someone, you would stop supporting him as president, correct?
Sexual exploitation as in far as what though?
Like abusing his position of power to take advantage of a naked woman or a naked girl in the furtherance of unconsensual sexual conduct.
Okay.
You'd stop supporting him if he did that?
Well, I mean, if it was proven.
If it was proven.
Right, but what was proven, I don't agree with.
Just hypothetically, if it was proven, would you stop supporting him?
Probably.
Let's get a little bit more of a certain answer than that.
Yeah, I mean, I would, definitely.
So if I could prove to you that Donald Trump sexually exploited women and or girls by abusing his position of power to look at them while they're naked, you'd stop supporting him. So one last clarifying question here. When I have no clothes on, I'm naked. Are you naked when you have no clothes on too?
Correct. But sometimes
Correct.
in
So
those
let's go ahead and listen to a clip of Donald Trump now admitting to the abuse of his position of power as the owner of beauty pageants to unconsensually barge into them to look at the naked women. We know that they're naked because he said they had no clothes on, which would fulfill the criteria that we just set forth to define sexual exploitation, thereby, in accordance to your own logic, must result in the conclusion of you retracting your support from him.
Well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like a
everything is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
So before you even talk, okay, you are at a fork in the road, ma'am. You have two ways to move forward in this conversation. The first way that you can move forward in this conversation is to be a woman of your word, to own up to the fact that you said you would stop supporting Trump if you knew he sexually exploited women and or girls. And then we agreed that sexual exploitation would include him abusing his position of power to take advantage of naked women by unconsensually looking at them when they had no clothes on. Now, in the clip that we just listened to, filmed on April 11th of 2005, Donald Trump told Howard Stern that he would take advantage of his position of power as the owner of the Miss Teen USA, Miss USA pageant to unconsensually barge into the woman-only private dressing rooms to look at them while they're naked and had no clothes on. All right? That's option number one. Now, option number two is the option that I think you'll take because, I don't know, you just kind of give me cult vibes, which is where you're going to try to justify your hypocrisy, where you're going to try to mend reality and attempt to convince me and everybody else listening that we didn't just listen to Donald Trump admit to sexual exploitation, that we shouldn't take him for his own word, or that you didn't tell us that you would stop supporting him if he admitted to doing exactly what we just heard him say. So the option's yours. Either surprise us all by being an adult, owning up to your word, and retracting your loyalty from Trump by taking that red hat off, or annoy us all by demonstrating that you lack a spine and that you're a hypocritical coward by trying to find a way to play mental gymnastics to justify continued support for this predator that has now admitted to sexually exploiting women and or girls. The mic is yours. I'm not going to interrupt you. It is your time to either shine or fall.
I go to both, actually, of what you said, because I do own up. I did say that, and I know I said that. But my thing is, with option number two, like as far as what you just played, and Parker played that for me before, I need more, I need to hear more, not just some clip that everyone, I feel like it's kind of being twisted. Like, what was the whole conversation about? How was his attitude? You know what I mean? I'd have to see. I'm going to look that up, actually, where are you finding that at? Because I'd like to see what his...
I just don't think you need... I don't think that you need anything more. Right?
But
imagine...
I do, because you need someone's facial expressions to...
What?
No, you do. You need to look into someone's eyes and someone's facial expressions to really, realize if they're doing something wrong or not. And I think he is, and that I will admit to, that the guy is a bad speaker and a bad talker, and someone really should speak for the man.
I want to try something right now. Are you ready?
Sure.
What's your name? Tracy?
My name is Tracy.
Okay. Now you can't see me on TikTok, right?
No.
Tracy, I have white socks on, okay?
Okay.
My socks are white. I'm going to come back into frame now. Tracy, what color are my socks?
You said white, but I don't know.
So here's the thing. When I told you my socks were white, could you see my facial expressions?
I could not, no.
But I thought you needed to see someone's facial expressions in order to believe them when they tell you something.
Well, you told me that, but I don't believe you. That's what I just said. I said, that's what you're telling me. You asked me what color socks do you have? You said white. I said, you said white, but I don't know, because I don't know. I'm not there. I don't see what color socks you're wearing. So, you know what I mean?
So if Donald Trump walked up to you with a face mask on and told you that he's murdered 3 children, would you still support him as president because you don't know?
No, I would not.
But no, how would you know that he's actually murdered 3 children?
Well, when someone's in your face and they're telling you that, that's pretty serious stuff. You
Right.
know?
Well, I mean, I think that Donald Trump got into Howard Stern's face and told him that he sexually exploited women and girls, and then we all were able to hear into that conversation since it was publicly broadcasted live. So, I mean, I don't really see the difference.
I have to watch that. I do. I'm going to watch
Can you tell me what the difference here is?
Well, the difference is I don't know. Like I said, I didn't see that clip.
Well,
so,
you just
like,
listen. You just listen to it, right? And
Right.
well, you need to see the facial
But
argument.
I didn't see it. I have to see.
Well, I don't think that you need to see it, given that you heard it.
Right, but like I said, is like maybe he said some things out of context. And by the way, those women in those, I am a woman.
Listen, by the way, Tracy, like, what could he say to put this in context to demonstrate that he's not guilty of sexual exploitation, right? Like, about the only thing he could say is, just kidding!
No, I mean, honestly, like, I mean, first of all, in those dressing rooms, people are not with their bras and panties off. You know what I mean? You're dressing, you're putting, you know what I mean? At least that's under my impression. Am I certain about that? No. But
okay, so first and foremost, he said that they had no clothes on, meaning that they're naked. And second of all, even if they just had bra and panties on, I don't think that'd make it much better.
Well, that's a huge difference, though.
No, not really, because it's still unconsensual.
I mean, well, what do you talk about?
It's still unconsensual. Okay,
Okay, but when
I'd say
women-
that the only like massive moral difference that could be drawn in this scenario would hinge on if consent was present or not if they were fully naked or maybe had panties on.
I mean, correct. Like I said, like I don't know, you don't know, nobody knows, but I do believe that
we do know because he said they had no clothes on.
Right, but what did he define no clothes? Like we have to ask him. Like, did he define no clothes as? Because you go to a beach in a bikini. A bikini is basically a bra and underwear.
Well, when you go to a beach in a bikini, do you consent to it?
Correct, but I mean, when you do those pageants, you consent to people walking in and out. That's just
So in no private woman's only space do you consent to men going in, right, to look at you while you're naked. I mean, that's implied via the fact that it's a private woman's only space, right? There's an implicit assumption in restaurants that you must pay your bill before you leave because that is the social understanding. There's an implicit assumption in bathrooms and in dressing rooms that only one gender is typically allowed in there because that's the social understanding. Okay, and Donald Trump reiterates this fact because in that sit down he said that there's no men around. Well, if men could just walk in and out, why the hell was there no men around? It means it was a private woman's only space.
But
and he also knows that this was wrong because at the end of the clip there he says that he got away with it. If it wasn't wrong, then he wouldn't get away with it. You only get away, quote unquote, with
the
bad
pageant,
things.
whatever he was talking about, the pageant or whatever it was, also at fault, not just him.
He's the owner of the pageant.
Yeah.
So if you're faulting, the pageant too, well, one moment, if you're faulting the pageant too, then you're just faulting him again.
But if I own the pageant and someone that is okay, say I work at the pageant and he's the owner of the pageant, right? And okay, for instance, I'm going to use an example on myself here. I worked at a bar, okay? And my boss was asking me to serve underage people, like women that he was obviously trying to do whatever with, alcohol. And I said, absolutely not. And I did. I lost my job. But I was not okay with that. And I'm not going to serve 15 and 16-year-old women drinks or girls, whatever, drinks like on his behalf of like trying to take advantage of them.
Maybe what you're telling me right now, right, is that if there was employees of this pageant that knew Donald Trump would barge in on them while they're naked and didn't say nor care, right, we could assume some level of responsibility to them engaging in immoral action, right?
Correct.
But the thing is those beauty pageant employees are not the president that this live is centered around. This live is centered around Trump.
Right.
Right?
I get that.
So that's why the conversation kind of starts and ends in this space about Trump, right? But this doesn't mean that there's no potentially immoral actions that the employees of that beauty pageant were engaging in, right? But right now we're just exploring those of Trump because you said that you'd stop supporting him if he had sexually exploited women and girls. You heard him admit to it, meaning you should stop supporting him right now.
Right. Like I said, though, like sexual assault and rape and all that stuff, that's a different ball game rather than someone just walking into a dressing room.
It's not a different ball game.
Out.
See, the ball game is sexual violence, and this ball game includes rape. This ball game includes sexual harassment. This ball game includes sexual abuse, and this ball game includes sexual exploitation. Okay, the identifying factor, all right, in all of these different forms of sexual violence would be the furtherance of unconsensual sexual conduct. All right. If there is a furtherance of unconsensual sexual conduct, then it falls under the same umbrella of sexual violence. And in this scenario, there is. The furtherance of the unconsensual sexual conduct that we see here is Donald Trump looking at them when they're naked without consent in what was supposed to be a private woman's only space.
Right. Okay. I mean, I have no defense for that because, like I said, I got to watch the clip. I'm going to look that up. You said it was Howard Stern, right? Correct. So I'm going to look that up.
I don't believe you because you told us earlier that I guess Parker had the same conversation with you a while ago. I mean, I think this is my first time ever talking to you.
No, but we didn't go into it as deep as you and I did. So I would like to research that and look for myself and make my own opinion.
I just think that's
maybe my opinion will be differently.
Yeah,
maybe once I see it, I'll have a different opinion.
Why don't you ever need to research any of the things that Trump ever says? When Trump says that we got $1 trillion from Saudi, one moment. When Trump says that we got $1 trillion from Saudi Arabia, you believe it mindlessly with no further research. But then when I give you everything that you need to know, playing you this clip, telling you the data aired, giving you the surrounding information about what sexual violence is and how sexual exploitation falls into sexual violence and what the definition of sexual exploitation is and the nuances about how he perpetuated sexual violence in this clip and doing what he admitted to doing, or all of a sudden you need to go do more research. But when Donald Trump goes on Truth Social and he's like, Saudi Arabia, $1 trillion, money, 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 right? All of a sudden that's like the big reason why he's a good president with no further research.
No, I said that he's a good president because he's making our lives better by bringing money into our country. And yes, he is giving money away, but also we're getting it back. Like he gave Argentina, what was it, like $40 billion or something? And so
one second. Can Best. That is CANBEST. Thank you for the 140 Canadian dollars on Super Chat. Can Best, you legend. I want to see 2,000 Can W's in the live stream comment section right now. Can Best with 140 Canadian dollars says, keep it up. Well, thank you so much for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. You were so totally incredibly awesome. That is so much money. I don't deserve it. When I see donations like that, the first thing that comes to my head is I don't deserve it. And you are such a kind-hearted, truly generous individual. As well as Kat, that is KAT. Thank you for the 20 Canadian dollars, who says, Dean, I'm so glad I made this MAGA bingo card. I win every freaking time. Dude, I bet that you're clearing that thing in like 30 minutes. Okay. It's like not even a joke anymore, dude. I mean, it's just the same old denial reality, repeat misinformation, and defend rape, right? Like, boy, woof.
I'm not defending that, though.
I get, you're not defending rape, you're defending sexual exploitation.
Well, I'm not. Like I said, I have to look more into that before I make an assumption of how I feel about that. Because like I said, me as being in that situation before, there is a chain of people. They just have something about them that they have that in them, and you can tell in their face, like in their eyes and their facial expressions and stuff, So if I look at it and I determine that that's the way I feel, then yes,
Why don't you just go look at it?
Him? Yes.
So just out of curiosity, what further research do you think you need to do?
Like I said, I need to watch the whole episode of where this clip came from and how he talked to Howard Stern and how the situation was. And when was this? In the 90s or something? Because you got to remember, before he became president, he was...
Why don't you go do that research right now? I'm done with you. Hello, do you support Trump?
I do.
Okay, hello, how old are you?
I'm 22.
Okay, and you're a Trump supporter.
I am.
God, you need to stop. You stop it right now, quite frankly. He's the worst president of your life. He is.
Dean, come on, man.
He is. He's the worst president of your life, Chloe.
I just have a couple questions for you. Like, I'm just genuinely curious as to where you're headed.
Let's go question for question. You ask me a question.
I got you.
Then I'm going to ask you a question. Go ahead.
Okay, so in your head, right, do we think that, let's just talk about sexual exploitation real quick. Do you think that that is holds the same amount of relevance in a horrible world as being a racist? Yes or no?
I do not like to compare travesties to other travesties.
Yeah, but initially, we're not making a comparison, okay? We're not trying to make a comparison. I'm just asking you, do you think they hold the same depth?
What if we say that it's wrong to be racist and it is wrong to commit sexual exploitation, and this question, do they hold the same depth, is one-dimensional and ignores the nuance of the severity of racism and the many ways that racism can take place, and the severity of sexual exploitation and the many ways that sexual exploitation could take place.
Right. So, yeah, once again, I'm not trying to take away the relevance from either of those.
Like racism can range from a microaggression to a public lynching. Racism can range from a microaggression to a genocide. So when you ask that question, are these two things just as wrong? It ignores what could be a good faith, nuanced dialogue, and it condenses it down to a 3-word, one-dimensional question that I don't think I'd be able to answer on its face value.
Right, and once again, I wasn't trying to take away the relevance from either of those, but I've got a follow-up question, but you said we're going question for question, so you can go ahead.
Okay. Do you care about core American values like the Constitution?
I do.
Would you ever support a president that doesn't?
So, yeah, we can get into the nitty-gritty of Donald Trump supposedly not respecting the Constitution. I'm totally down for that.
Would you ever support a president that does not support the Constitution?
No, I think it's un-American, for sure.
Okay, so then Donald Trump's an un-American since he's launched an attack on the 1st, 2nd, 4th, 10th, 14th, and 22nd Amendment. I'd say the best example of this would be his attack on the 14th Amendment when he signed Executive Order number 14160 into law his very first day into office that attempted to take birthright citizenship away from the children born to undocumented immigrants on American soil, when the first section of the 14th says all persons born on American soil and subject to the jurisdiction thereof have birthright citizenship, and this has been long withstanding since 1868.
Right, and I understand, but you have to talk about the context within those, right? So when you're referencing that one in particular, we're talking about the threat that these people actually do pose to the American citizens in our country today. And you're also do you have anything to say to that, or you want me to keep going?
I'll wait for you to finish. I mean, the more you talk, the worse it gets for yourself, so.
Okay.
FC, I appreciate you for the festers. Thank you.
So initially, can you kind of describe why you think that that's kind of unconstitutional for me real quick?
Yeah, for sure. Because his executive order says that the children born to undocumented immigrants don't have birthright citizenship, and the Constitution says the children born to undocumented immigrants do have birthright citizenship.
Okay, so initially when we're talking about undocumented immigrants, right, it would depend on the circumstances in which are these undocumented immigrants. Okay, are you just going to say no? You're just going to say no?
Well, I don't think that there is a single circumstance where the child born to an undocumented immigrant on American soil wouldn't have birthright citizenship.
But these are actually people who came here to our country illegally.
Right.
So initially, we're talking about the Constitution.
They came here illegally, yet if they have children here, their children are citizens.
Yeah, but when you're talking about like the family dynamic between these children. You're talking about the children who actually suffer in this country every single day, especially with ICE and the way that they're going about things and taking these families away. You're talking about people who are going to have to leave this country, okay, without their children, considering their children are birthright citizens, but they are not.
Arguably, infringing on their children's constitutional rights would only make them suffer more. Arguably.
And why is that if I just gave you an example as to how they could be taken away from their family? You see what I'm saying?
So maybe if we don't want them to be taken away from their family, we don't deport their family.
Oh, yeah, so we should
But
just
by the
leave
way,
all illegal
this
immigrants here, for sure,
moral
yeah.
argument, right, is not one born out of the nature of the Constitution. You're one that argued that a president would be anti-American for infringing on the Constitution, right? The only criteria that has to be met for an infringement on the Constitution would be an illegal directive in conflict with the Constitution. And Trump CO number 14160 was an illegal directive in conflict with the 14th Amendment, meaning that I've significantly and successfully fulfilled all necessary criteria in order to be met to demonstrate that Donald Trump is anti-American as he has launched an attack on the Constitution by violating it. Right? What you are doing in response is just trying to justify said violation, which in accordance with your own logic makes you anti-American, as you suggested. Any violation was anti-American.
Okay, but I'm asking you, I will concede with you right there, okay? I understand, that's totally contradictory. But I'm asking you, right, about the significance of that being a possibility that these children, okay, have illegal, or we'll just say undocumented, we'll say undocumented for the sake of your life, undocumented immigrants coming to this country, their kids are born as American citizens, they get deported, and then what do the kids do?
Well, in many scenarios, they'll go with the parents.
But I mean, technically we can't deport legal citizens, yeah?
Donald Trump's already done it.
When?
When he deported a 10-year-old girl with brain cancer because their parents, more so mom, who had custody over them, was an undocumented immigrant.
And was that child brought back to the U.S., yes or no?
Don't think so.
No, she was.
Okay.
You can look it up right now.
So I know that her father took it to a family court. Are you saying that family court ruled custody of the child to the father?
Say that one more time.
So I know that her father, who's an American citizen that lives here, took that to family court, right, and argued that the father, who is an American citizen that's in this country, should have custody over that child. Are you saying that family court ruled that he does indeed have custody, meaning that the child had to be brought back?
Yeah.
Okay, can you give me a resource on that, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, I can go get it for you. Hold on one.
Nice, dude. Look at this, facts. We're talking about the evidence for claims. Wow, this one's new. We're great strides are being made with the guest today. For everybody on TikTok, folks, good to see you. Make sure that you're double tapping. Also, y'all, spam that chat. Like, how do we have 13,000 people in here? But like, there's only like a chat being sent like every 3 seconds. For everybody over on YouTube, guys, make sure to drop us out. Appreciate you for being here. Maybe while she's doing her research, doing her thing, I want to thank a couple people. Kirsten, thank you for the $5 over on Venmo. And oh my God. Dude, what is going on today? Emily, thank you so much for the $150 on Venmo. Fucking hell, you guys. God damn, Emily, that's insane. That fucking preposterous. Emily, with $150, says, I don't know how I would get through my day without you, without my favorite show. You are so brilliant and kind. It is amazing to see you bring people around to the truth. Love you, Dean. Love you too, Emily. Thank you so much for your kind words. I'm really, really happy that you enjoy this stream. And thank you, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, for the $150. I don't deserve a penny of that. Repeat that every time, but it's always true. I need everybody watching right now to show some massive, major love to Emily in that chat, as well as Liz and Jane. Appreciate you both for the $5. Susie, spelled very interestingly, that is Suzie. Thank you for the $20 over on Venmo. Who says, what about locker rooms? Is that okay? I'm guessing you're referencing our last guest, Tracy. I should have asked her that. Thank you for the $20, Susie. Show some love to Susie. Caleb with a 2, Brittany with a 5. Thank you, guys. Then Andrew and Masson with 5. Thank you, guys. All right, we're all caught up over on Venmo. If you want to support me, by the way, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio. Over on PayPal, Dominic, my man, thank you for the $25. Dominic with the $25 says, Tracy sounds like she needs to be charged with a DUI, debating under influence. That's funny, Dominic. Dude, yeah, show some love to Dominic in the chat for the 25. Seriously, man, I appreciate you for your support for what we do here. Brianna, thank you for the $12 as well. Thank you so much, Brianna. And John with the $5. Look at that. We're all caught up. Thank you guys so much for the love. I'm very thankful for all the donors to what we do here. Thank you guys for allowing me to continue to do this for 4 hours every single day, 7 days a week. Show some love to our donors. Show some love to you guys. Thank you so much one last time.
W's in the chat for real.
So welcome back. Where were you able to find that source?
Yes, CNN.
Okay, what's that?
It was the daughter of Juan and Maria. The 10-year-old little girl is what you're referring to.
Yep, 10-year-old girl brought back CNN. What's the source?
Hold on, I can give you the URL.
Because the only thing I see on it is from March 20th, who says parents deported to Mexico file DHS complaint seeking return to U.S. with sick American daughter.
Yes. So that article initially, I just want you to read it for me.
Read you the whole article? No.
No, but the end of the article.
Okay. Let's see here. It's a really long article. I'm still scrolling down. Okay, so the last paragraph says, there are theoretically some books, some mechanisms where a family could apply for a waiver or some sort of humanitarian relief. Opinion, New York immigration attorney Raul Reyes says after analyzing Juan and Maria's case. I mean, I don't.
Okay,
think it really
hold on.
tells
Let
us
me just screenshot
How
it
about
for you.
this?
Would that be better?
What about this? What if I just tell you that I believe you?
I mean, that's awesome, but I mean, I would like for you to concede this with actually believing me as opposed to just telling me you believe me.
A concession would be that I argued otherwise. Right, and I didn't. I just was asking for your evidence out of curiosity.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm all for. I'm a person that supports immigration reform. That's not what I'm not here to argue that, but I'm also here to withstand my values and beliefs that a lot of people who come to this country, right, and do stay here for longer periods of time and don't file for citizenship. I'm all for deporting them, but again, I would argue
what is one way that their
immigration reform,
deportation materially benefits America?
being that they don't contribute to society properly. And we can argue about the taxes that they pay.
The
We
thing
can
is
argue
when
about
you
all
remove
this
them from the
bullshit, but-
country, you're removing their contributions to society, totaling $1.1 through $1.7 trillion per year to the GDP, building the social and moral fabric of America by being significantly less likely to commit any and all crimes and paying over $100 billion per year in taxes. Their contributions are incredibly noteworthy.
Okay, yeah. So we can talk, I mean, but there's a broad aspect of them too. There are a lot of people who come here just to cause harm to our country directly,
I
right?
don't believe you. If there was a lot of people that just came here to harm the country, then we wouldn't expect them to be so significantly less likely to commit crimes.
That's just initially not true.
It is true. But my source would
no.
be, since we're talking about evidence, PNAS, it was consistently and repeatedly demonstrated and proven that undocumented immigrants are 2.5 times less likely to commit violent crimes, 3 times less likely to commit property crimes, and 3.5 times less likely to commit petty crimes. I feel like you're operating under the false assumption that the only reason why an individual would opt for illegal entry would be because they wouldn't qualify for the legal means, given that they're like violent felons, so on and so forth. When in all reality, the vast majority of undocumented immigrants opt for undocumented entry because the legal means of entry are unattainable, is they take way too damn long and they cost way too much money. Okay, not because they're bad people, not because they're violent criminals, not because they are escaping prisons and mental institutions like Donald Trump would like you to think, right? But rather because the legal means are just simply unattainable, right? And the data that I just give you proves the fact that they actually help build, right, the social and moral fabric of this country, as they're so significantly less likely to commit all of these crimes. But, I'm just going to steelman your position real quick. Right? You're arguing that, they may still commit some crimes on American soil. They still may, do these heinous things in small, minute circumstances. And what I would say in response to that is, if violent crime and criminal behavior is such a big deal to you that it would warrant the removal of an immigrant, given that they're undocumented, then why doesn't it warrant removal of Trump from, at the bare minimum, the Oval Office, given the fact that he's a convicted 34-count felon, adjudicated rapist, adjudicated fraudster, can't even open up a charity in the state of New York, lied about the properties of his lied about the valuation of his properties to banks in New York, leading to civil litigation, intentionally concealed classified documents at Mar-a-Lago following the termination of his first term, all while launching the largest attack on our democracy since the Civil War with his attempted coup for government in 2021, when he tried to install fake votes for himself in Congress.
Right. So you're going to pivot. Okay, you're going to make the comparison between Donald Trump and an illegal immigrant.
It'd only be a pivot if it wasn't conceptually relevant or related to the subject at hand. And I did already demonstrate the conceptual relevance and relation. If you'd like me to do it again, I can.
No. My issue is, right, that I made the initial argument, or not the initial argument, but the statement, right, that I was for immigration reform and the system to be reformed. Yeah.
But you know who's not Trump. He doesn't want reform. He just wants tyranny.
Okay, well, I'm not Donald Trump.
Right, but he's the president that you're supporting.
Right, because he's our president of the United States.
So you're saying that you'd support the president regardless of what they did?
I supported Biden. I supported Obama. I mean, initially when we're talking about
So if
what US
Donald Trump
citizens
said that
can
he
do,
so if Donald Trump said that he loved Hitler, you'd still support him as president merely because he is president?
I would exist in a country where he is president.
Yeah, but I didn't ask if you'd exist in a country where he's president. I asked you if you would support him as such.
Obviously, no, I wouldn't be yelling "Hail Hitler." Like that's not what I'm doing. You're just trying to put words in my
Would you support Trump
mouth.
as president? If he was like, "Oh, I love Hitler," would you support Trump as president?
No.
Okay, got it. So then when you're telling us, right, that, at the end of the day, you're still going to support Trump as president just because he's president, is a weak cop-out that's completely meaningless because you don't believe that just because somebody is president warrants you supporting them. And in all reality, it's just you demonstrating that you can't effectively combat any of the points that I made surrounding the fact that undocumented immigrants are great for America, mass deportation hurts this country in all regards, and Donald Trump is significantly worse than undocumented immigrants because although they're less likely to commit all these crimes, Donald Trump is more likely than the average American to do so because he actually has.
Okay, so my question to you was, after the initial claim that I made, my question to you is when someone is actually directly affected by the way that these people commit crimes in their other country and then come to our country, right, and commit a crime against an American citizen or even another undocumented immigrant in this country, do you think that they should be deported or do you think that they contribute to society?
Yeah, literally every person agrees that if an undocumented immigrant has a prior violent, crime on their criminal record, pretty insane nonviolent crime on their criminal record, outstanding warrants from their country, so on and so forth, that they should be removed.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you, since you have the resources in front of you, what are the statistics surrounding illegal immigrants in this country and the crimes that they commit against American citizens or citizens in general who are actually, well, I guess I would say non-citizens?
Well, I mean, if you were listening to what I said 10 minutes ago, you would have already heard me give you the statistics. By giving you statistics from PNAS that demonstrate they're significantly less likely to do so compared to American citizens. Now, if you want like just the overall representation of the crime stats, American citizens commit 99% of violent crimes, undocumented immigrants commit 1%.
So funnily enough, that actually didn't answer my question at all. I asked for the statistics, not in comparison to American citizens. Statistics are different, right, compared to American citizens and the crimes that they commit. What percent of crimes do illegal immigrants commit when they come into this country, right? So what are the statistics for them as opposed to giving me the statistics in comparison to U.S. citizens? What are they?
Are you flustered?
No, I'm not flustered. I'm asking you a question and you're not directly answering it.
So if you weren't flustered, then you just would have heard me tell you that they commit 1% of violent crimes in this country.
1% of, and that's not in comparison to American citizens?
Well, I mean, kind of, sort of, because it's a percentage of the overall crime committed. And that means other crimes are going to be committed by citizens with like a small, infinitely low level committed by like non-citizen tourists or residents. But just more so, just to keep it simple here, overall, when we look at all the crimes committed in this country, all the violent crimes committed in this country, undocumented immigrants account for 1% of them.
Right. Okay. So initially, my question to you once again, because we're getting nowhere, is there a statistic that you can provide to me, right, with the population of undocumented immigrants in this country, and what percent of them commit crime in this country? Not in comparison to the United States and the population, what percentage of undocumented immigrants commit crime in this country?
Okay, well,
can you provide me a statistic?
So I just want to make it clear. I'm answering the questions that you're asking. You just keep on changing the question, right?
You said 1% of the population, not 1% of the undocumented immigrants.
I didn't say 1% of the population. I said 1% of the violent crime that occurs in America is committed by undocumented immigrants.
Right. So what percentage of undocumented immigrants commit crime?
Let's see. What percentage of U.S. citizens commit crimes of violent crimes? Give me 1 second. I can pull that up for you. 3.9 divided by 2. 1.9% of undocumented immigrants commit violent crimes. Wow.
So, okay. So I feel like, I'm sorry. I'm not laughing. I am laughing. I just want to ask you the question again, because I feel like you're not, like you just looked up what percent of citizens, did you not? That's what you said.
Oh, yeah, because that's what I used in my calculus. So, like I said earlier,
So
PNAS,
you're not giving me a statistic, you're doing math.
Statistics
Yeah.
is math. So you asked
Right,
me
right.
you asked me what percentage of violent crimes, what percentage of undocumented immigrants in America commit violent crimes, and I just thought the easiest way to figure that out would be first to determine what percentage of citizens commit violent crimes, which according to the National Institute of Health is 3.9%, and then I took the stat given to us by PNAS, which is the fact that undocumented immigrants are 2.5 times less likely to commit violent crimes on American soil compared to American citizens, and then I just divided 3.9 by 2.5 actually, to get 1.5% of undocumented immigrants would commit violent crimes, since they're 2.5 times less likely and 3.9% of citizens do.
Okay, so you would agree, right, that these these government provided statistics, okay, are accurate as opposed to your math, right?
So I'm confused on what you're asking me. You're saying government provided statistics are accurate?
Or would be more accurate as opposed to the math that you just did on your calculator.
Well, I'd assume that government provided statistics would be incredibly similar, right, to the data that I just shared.
But you're not being inclusive, right? When we're referencing cases that you're not including them. Okay, so when we're talking about,
what am I not factoring in for here?
so you just gave me the statistic that you pulled off of the web, okay, and you were doing math,
right,
surrounding that statistic.
Yeah, well, so the thing is when you do the math right, it's always going to be accurate, right? Like if you know how to like add 2 plus 2, then you're always going to get the answer of 4. And if you know how to divide 3.9% by 2.5, then you're always going to get 1.5%. So are you just telling me that math is unreliable?
No, I'm not telling you that at all. I was just going to ask you when exactly that statistic was provided.
So the statistic from PNAS is updated annually, I believe. So that's where I'm getting the fact that undocumented immigrants are 2.5 times less likely to commit violent crimes when compared to citizens. And then the result here that I'm getting, that 3.9% of Americans have at least one violent conviction on their record, is from a study published on NIH. Where's the year? Let's see here. I don't know. I don't see the year on here. Oh, 2013.
So 2013.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to get other, if you want to like, get these statistics using other means, feel free to do so. But you just asked me a pretty easy question, so I just tried to answer it to the best of my ability.
No, to each their own. I initially
could you point out the methodological flaw in what I'm suggesting here?
I think that so you're initially stating that you're pulling from different sources, okay? And being that those, no, go ahead.
No,
what's your issue?
I'm not saying anything. I'm just laughing at you.
Oh, you're laughing at me. Okay,
because you're just like whining like a child when I'm just giving you like very simple and easy to track mathematics. Right,
I'm not. There's been no whining.
Like, are you just
whining.
aggravated that I could answer your question? Like I think that
no.
if I had a guess here, I'd say that Chloe's pissed off that only 1.5% of undocumented immigrants commit violent crimes on American soil. That pisses her off, right? Because it doesn't fit her narrative. So now she's just whining.
100%. Oh yeah, I'm baby bubbles in the tub.
Like you're so mad that they don't commit as many violent crimes as you think they do. Shouldn't you be happy? Shouldn't you be happy that they don't commit as many violent crimes as you think they do? Like, shouldn't you be happy?
I'm not happy about the violent crimes that they have committed, nor am I happy about the violent crimes that the U.S. citizens have committed.
Like Trump, but you made him president. But you made him president.
Oh, I did, yeah.
Right, the violent criminal Trump, the adjudicated rapist.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Slay.
Okay.
Yes, make rapists presidents.
Do you know that I was here yesterday?
Did I know that you were here yesterday? I remember talking to somebody else named Chloe. I guess we're on round 2.
Oh, yeah. That was me, Dean.
Yeah,
that was me.
Round 2, Chloe. It looks like you're losing today again.
Oh, yeah. I'm really lost. Because you dropped me right after you gave me the dumbest hypothetical I've ever heard in my entire life.
Is it dumb because you thought about it?
It's dumb because why would you even ask me? Why would you even ask me if I liked the idea? Why would you ask me if I liked the idea of you getting raped? What type of bullshit is that?
Oh,
That
yeah,
is the dumbest thing
because
I've
you
ever heard in
said
my
that
life.
if an opportunity exists for something, then you support said opportunity. And I think I was
I didn't
responding.
say that.
Okay,
I
Chloe.
said that we live in a world where opportunities are prominent. Therefore, there's opportunity for everything.
Well, it wasn't a question on
Given we
if.
are human beings,
So,
there's
Chloe,
opportunity for everything.
Chloe, can you calm down a little bit?
No, I cannot calm down. That's the most disgusting hypothetical I've ever heard in my entire life.
Okay, Chloe, I'm sorry if you can't track logic. That sounds like a you issue, not a me issue. And by the way, you're using this to deflect away from the fact that you asked a question, I was able to answer it, and it pissed you off. Just calm down.
Dean, the issue that I have with you, okay, and you can tell me all the issues you have with me too, and I would love to listen to them because
Oh, really?
honestly,
Okay, well, let me start.
You wanna know-
Wait, Chloe,
Dean?
you just told me I could
Okay.
tell you all the issues I
Yeah.
have with you. Well, let me start. I think the first
Okay.
issue I take with you is the fact that you're like maliciously dumb, right? I don't really
Okay.
care if some individuals are uneducated. I don't really care if some individuals don't really have that high of IQ, but I do really care when you take that lack of education, when you take that emboldened ignorance and you turn it into malition by supporting your own ignorance willfully to yield conclusions in which are evidently false and perpetuate harm. I also didn't really like the fact that you're seemingly spineless, right? And you don't really care about what's true or false. You only care about what you want to be true or false, as you view Trump as some kind of god. And when Donald Trump says that undocumented immigrants are committing all these violent crimes, you're actually pissed off when I prove otherwise. Like, you shouldn't be pissed off, right, that there's not as many violent crimes being committed on American soil as you think there are. Jamie, I appreciate you for the fest cheers. And I think my third problem with you is you're just kind of annoying.
Right, annoying. So, can I ask you something? Do you think that, surrounding political commentators like yourself, which I would consider you a political commentator,
Shadow, thank you for the wolf.
do you think that you have an influence on your followers?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna move a little bit here. So yesterday, right, when I got up in your box, okay, and we were on here for about 45 minutes, I'd say, when your followers got into my DM requests, okay, and sent me messages saying that they hoped I got graped, do you think that's a direct reflection of you and how you run your show when you actually prey down on your guests, or no?
No, considering the fact that we spend around 30 to 40% of the time on live condemning sexual violence.
Right, okay.
I'm
So
sorry
are
that somebody.
you
I'm sorry that somebody DM'd you that. They should definitely be banned.
Yeah, that's what I believe too. And I think that we have gotten to a point, and this is not me trying to even victimize myself, but I think we've gotten to a point, especially online, that you can make the argument, right, that because I support our president, that I am deserving, okay, some people could, not even you, that I am deserving of that treatment.
I'd like to make it clear, anybody that does make that argument has lost their goddamn mind.
Yeah, and I believe that. But I'm just saying, I don't really, I really want to know your reasoning behind why exactly, if you are in support, right, of condemning that idea, why you would make that stupid ass hypothetical yesterday.
Oh, so you think that there's some type of connection between me asking you hypothetical questions surrounding your own logic and somebody DMing you saying that they hope you get raped? If so,
I
there's
don't
no
think that's a
connection.
correlation. No.
If so, there's no connection whatsoever. I think that what you're doing right now is that you're really mad at me because I've been able to successfully demonstrate to, let's see here, 19,000 people, adding the amount of viewers we have on TikTok and the amount of viewers we have on YouTube, that you're a DUMB-ASS. So you're trying to grasp at straws to create this fake image of me that I'm somehow a bad person or have bad intentions. When in all reality, my intention for going live every day and my intention for having this conversation with you right now is just to inevitably help you wake up to the truth and help you stop supporting the worst president of your life, right? That has one of the worst characters I've ever seen in a man, ranging from grape to sexual exploitation to, just perpetual lies and attacks on those around him, care nor shit for anybody but himself, with terrible policy that's hurting low-income Americans, hurting the average American, hurting the world as a whole, and about another 5 billion things that it'd take me 25 minutes to get through.
Okay, so initially, I've never made the claim that you are a horrible person, nor was I trying to insinuate that. Okay, I asked you a question. The issue that I had was that you use things like grape, okay, and hypotheticals, and you think that that's not harmful at all, right, to the idea of it and how it is prominent in our country and all over the world. And then you have people whom support you every single day that are actually making a joke about it, right, in your opposition's DMs. again, I'm not crying, but you don't see the relevance in that, and that is the issue.
Okay, well, I definitely don't see any connection between me using the
I
circumstance
didn't make
of
a
grape
connection. You
and
don't see the relevance.
well, if you weren't making a connection, then you wouldn't be talking about these two subjects together and intertwined. And I don't think that myself nor really anybody watching the stream right now is really getting at what you're trying to say here. I think that you're trying to suggest that one of my supporters DM'd you and told you that they hope you get graped. I mean, I doubt that anybody who would say that to you in a DM would be a supporter of mine, right? But I mean, if they do for whatever, but no, because you're watching my stream right now. You don't support me.
I'm on your stream. Sorry.
Right. And before
I
you
am
were on the
supporting
stream, you were
I'm
watching
supporting
my
you
stream.
by giving you opposition. So initially, yeah, I am.
Wait. So do you think therefore I influence people to support Trump since you support me and you're a Trump supporter? See how bad your logic is? Thanks, Chloe.
My logic is not bad.
Well, I just
told
proved
you,
it to be bad.
Right?
Because
I
in
told
accordance
you,
with your
once
logic,
again,
the guy that literally has a stream titled "Trump is a Threat to America" that spends his days telling people why he's a threat to America, is supposedly influencing people to support Trump. Since one of his supporters, you, and by the way, you are a supporter, since according to your logic, you watch my stream, is a Trump supporter. The same way you tried to posit that I somehow, in one sense or another, have influenced an individual to DM you to say that they hope that you get raped, since you think that they're a supporter of mine, since they were watching the stream. Therefore, somehow I have some culpability, right? So I mean, your logic is terrible, and I think that you're just crashing out because you've lost the debate. Now, if at any point, hello, Momo. Now, if at any point, oh, hey, kitty, you want to come here. If at any point you want to get back to a conversation surrounding why you support Trump, right? The mic is definitely yours, but I just don't think that you'll ever do that.
I literally gave you the reasonings and you're not. I don't think you're grasping. I don't think you're grasping the relevance of those claims and why that hypothetical is so bad. Like, why do you think that is an okay thing to ask someone? Just like someone has made the argument, the hypothetical to me before. If you walked into a burning building, and I've seen this, Dean, I've seen this, and I think it's so funny. If you walk into a burning building and you have a living baby and a can of Zygote.
I'm just going to mute the yapper real quick. Rami, thank you so much for the $50 over on Venmo. Thank you so much, Rami. I want to see 500 Rami W's down below in the comment section. That is ROMI. Thank you so much for your kindness, Rami. Show some love to Rami down below who says, Dean, $50, Chloe, $0. I appreciate you for that, Rami. Shauna, thank you for the 5. Allison, thank you so much for the 5. Jack with a $15. Thank you so much, Jack, who says, I listen to your live streams every day. Oh, Jack, that is awesome. Welcome in, man. I'm really happy that you enjoy the lives. Show some love to Jack down below, folks. Show some love to Jack down below. I'd also like to thank Brooke for the $25 over at Venmo. Thank you so much for your kindness, Brooke. That is BROOKE. If you're showing a screenshot of that on TikTok, I'm going to have to turn your camera off just so you don't get banned for the perpetuation of like violent crimes. We definitely believe that's something that somebody DM'd to you. I took you for your word, but thank you so much for the $25, Brooke. I'd also like to very quickly thank Kirsten for the $5. Thank you so much, Kirsten. That is so incredibly kind of you. And then Sonny, thank you for the $10 over at PayPal for the Momo Treat Fund. Thank you, Sonny. Perler, thank you for the $25. That is PERLER with a $25. Thank you so much, Perler, who says, I love you so much. I love you too, Perler. Thank you for being here, and I really hope that you're enjoying the stream. And Michael, thank you so much for the $100 on PayPal. Holy shit, Michael. Dude, Michael, thank you so much, who says there's absolutely no evidence of the 10-year-old girl with brain cancer being brought back to America as of November 2025. Michael, you're the motherfucking man. I want to see 1,000 Michael W's down below in that chat. Thank you so much, about 1 billion times over. Thank you so much, Michael. That is so incredibly kind and generous of you. Then Becca with the $3 for the cat treats. Maddie, thank you for the $5, who says, why is she more mad about your hypothetical than Trump's actual rape conviction? That's a great question, Maddie. Then Kiri, thank you for the $5 for treats for Momo. Gabriel with the $10 for Momo. Thank you guys so much. And Angeli with for the $5 as well. Then just a few more here over on YouTube, who says maliciously dumb is now absorbed into my lexicon. Oh, well, I appreciate you so much for the $20, Leslie. Key Cat, thank you for the $10 for the Momo treats. Thank you so much. And go ahead and take it away, Chloe. I just had to, cut off the yap, crash out. Just thank a couple of people there.
No, yeah, you're good, 100%. I was acknowledging some of your chat and how they were talking about me making false claims. So I just wanted to clarify, for everyone.
So that person that DM'd you and said, I hope that you get graped, that was like heinous, right?
Yeah, it was
terrible,
horrible.
Literally.
I can't wait till you make the claim.
And that person should never be president, right?
I can't wait.
Yeah, that
See
person.
How that happens, Dean? How I know you're gonna say that?
That person who DM'd because Trump's a rapist. Oh,
Adjudicated.
shocker!
Adjudicated.
Shocker!
Adjudicated.
Oh,
Adjudicated.
Chloe! Wow, you just really said the quiet part out loud. You knew that I was gonna make a connection to Trump because you know Trump's a rapist. You knew that I was gonna make a connection between some random person that DM'd you. I hope you get raped to the president of the United States of America because you know he's raped a woman. Wow, that's why you shouldn't support him. Okay, if the first person that comes to your head when you think of somebody DMing you telling you that they hope you get raped is the president, then they probably shouldn't be president.
Yeah, and I think, I think that you talking about it every single day is like probably why, I'd sit here and I'd make that connection considering we were just talking about it.
Yeah. So how do you support Donald Trump as president if he's a rapist, considering the fact that you and I both staunchly stand so far against any and all sexual violence?
Okay, so, the evidence, right, in that case, let's talk about it. So initially, who were those testifiers that gave their testimonies for E. Jean Carroll?
The names of them? I don't know their names.
Okay, but who were they to her?
Friends.
Friends. Okay. And
So
in what situations?
seven of them were friends. One of them was a therapist.
Right. And in what situations were they involved with her and Donald Trump? Do you know?
In what situations were they involved with her and Donald Trump?
Like, what relevance do they hold in that case?
Considering the fact that, her path crossed with Donald Trump when she was raped in a dressing room, there was no personal involvement of those friends and her and Donald Trump, but personally involved with her over the course of their life. And that's what they testified to, is that over the course of, their lives and E. Jean Carroll's life, this is something that she's confided in and told them privately since the 90s.
Right. Okay. And then I'm going to ask you another question. What was the evidence to back that up in terms of DNA evidence, those types of things?
Oh, in terms of DNA evidence?
Right.
Oh, well, actually, we have a lot of reason to believe that Donald Trump is guilty of raping E. Jean Carroll because of DNA evidence. E. Jean Carroll said that she had the dress she was raped in by Donald Trump in that dressing room. And in fact, she even testified to the fact that his DNA could be found on it. The court took the dress to a lab, had it tested for male DNA. They found some. They turned around. They said, Trump, we now need to confirm or to deny that this is your DNA on the dress, okay? Because we already know there's male DNA on it. E. Jean Carroll saying it's your DNA from when you raped her. And then his response was to say, nuh-uh, I'm not going to give you my DNA, when in all reality, if he was innocent and he told the truth when he said he had never met her, that was his testimony, there would be no way that'd be his DNA on her dress. Therefore, that would exonerate him and prove his innocence. But instead, he decided to refuse the opportunity to submit his DNA to the lab to be tested against the DNA on the dress, only giving us even more reason to believe that he's guilty.
More reason to believe that he's guilty, but was it proven, right, that he was guilty simply with the evidence given with DNA, or was there a kit performed? Was there a kit performed?
So was it proven that he was guilty of raping her? Yes.
I'm aware of that, but I'm asking you, right? Was there any evidence to back that up at all in terms of DNA and a rape kit?
Oh, so there was no rape kit performed on E. Jean Carroll, but we don't need a rape kit to prove rape. And I just gave you the evidence to demonstrate, right, that in part we have some reason to believe that he raped E. Jean Carroll rooted within DNA. I just gave that to you. I think that it's some reason, because it plays into the greater picture of all reason with the further suggestions of other forms of evidence submitted in the court, the inconsistencies and lies present within his own testimony, as well as other facts about his character ranging from the 90s until now, right? The reason why I believe that Donald Trump is guilty is because of all the different pieces of evidence submitted in that trial, his own lies, like when he lied and said he never met her, which then E. Jean Carroll responded to with a picture of them together, or when he lied and said that he would never rape her because she's not his type, and which he then responded by confusing a picture of his ex-wife to be a picture of her when his ex-wife was his type, alongside other facts of his character, like sexually exploiting naked women and naked girls at Miss Teen USA, Miss USA in the 90s and early 2000s. That's something a rapist would do. Saying that he could just grab women by the P word without asking first. That's definitely something rapists say all the time. Being best friends with a billionaire child sex trafficker, knowing that they were a sex trafficker and still being friends with him and doing and saying nothing. Definitely something a rapist would do, like ding, 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 fucking ding. And then when we also consider the fact fact that he's sending Epstein letters depicting the naked body of girls with statements, "May every new day be another wonderful secret." Definitely something a rapist would do, right? Him sexualizing a 10-year-old girl in the 90s, saying that he'd be dating her in 10 years, something a rapist would say. Calling a woman piggy, telling her to quiet, that's definitely a way that a rapist would treat a woman, alongside many other facts too. I mean, I think full picture, it becomes complete. You're supporting a rapist as president.
Okay. Right. So I'm going to ask you another question. Do you think that he's in the files?
Well, it's not a matter of thinking, it's a matter of knowing. I know he's in the files.
And why is that?
Because we've already had some of the files released that he was in. Duh.
Okay, so when Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer actually had an interview with someone and claimed that Jeffrey Epstein, when he asked him for dirt on someone, and he initially was not able to give anyone a name, especially his lawyer, and when he literally testified that Donald Trump had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein in those terms, then why would we not believe Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer?
Because Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer's job was to defend Epstein's innocence, right? And then you also just said it yourself. Apparently, when he asked Epstein for dirt on any associates of himself, Epstein didn't give any, right? But we obviously know that Epstein has some proven, associates like Ghislaine Maxwell. So you're saying that Epstein didn't even give up dirt on Ghislaine Maxwell, but we know Ghislaine Maxwell's dirty? There you go. But she gone. She left. I don't know why she left. Chloe, all right, next time you lose an argument, I'd say the appropriate thing to do is to concede, not to run away like a child, but whatever. Moving on to the next guest, guys. Only hop inside of that queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Trump as president. Oh, actually, she got banned. Woof. Moving on. All right. We're going to go to get the next guest, Jake, loaded up into the box. If you happen to be in the queue, folks, just make sure that means that you're an American adult who supports Trump. Lee, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo, who says, Dean, Chloe can't track. Nah, bruh, she can't track for shit. Thank you for the $20, Lee. I want to see 200 Lee W's down below in that comment section. Thank you so much, my friend. Angela, thank you for the $5. And Gabrielle with the $10. Thank you so much. Then Roxy with a $1. Thank you, Roxy. What's going on, Jake? Do you support Trump?
What do you think of Charlie Kirk's wife being pregnant?
Erica Kirk is, I haven't seen that she's pregnant. Now, I think that
apparently she's 8 weeks pregnant.
From the EU, so I'm going to go and kick you. I haven't seen that. We're going to go to move on to the next guest right now. Amanda, thank you so much for the $10 on PayPal, who says 98% of people that come up to debate have no idea how politics and the legal system even works. I think that you're being real generous with that 98%. I'd put it at 99. Bailey, thank you for the $5, who says, I used to support Trump. I debated you and no longer support Trump. Thank you, Dean. Bailey, that is awesome. Good for you. What is going on, 55-year-old white millionaire? You got to be a troll. Do you support Trump?
I am not a troll, but I didn't even know I requested, I'll be honest with you. I can talk. I am a Republican. I usually just like listening to you.
Your name's not a troll?
Unfortunately or fortunately, all those things do describe me.
Your username is literally 55 white millionaire Texas man.
They are all true. It was sort of a joke I did with my buddies, but all of those things are true. And if I made you laugh, my job is complete today.
Dude, what a crazy name. Okay. What a crazy name.
It's just
okay.
a mess with my buddies.
Right,
my buddies and I like messing with each other.
So you said that you're a Republican. Are you like a Trump supporting Republican?
I'm an old school conservative Republican that probably supported Trump about 65% of the way during the election, and that's come down to around 50%. It's teetering. It's really hard to support him based on, I liked some of the stuff he said he was going to do, but he just went a little too far extreme. Immigration reform.
How about I try to get you off that fence? Because if you're teetering
I'd love to be on that because I've got to decide what I'm going to do in the midterms. I would have no problem talking about this stuff.
So, I think if you're legitimately on that fence, I could get you off pretty easily. Now, you said that you watched the stream, so you've maybe already heard this. So I don't know. I guess we'll figure that out right now. Also, chat, please stop spamming that. It's true, but it's just I don't want to see that word.
I don't read the stuff. I'm at the office doing paperwork, so I don't even read whatever they say. I don't care what they say.
Yeah, what you guys are spamming in the chat is true, but come on, please stop that. But anyways, just to respond to you now. So if Biden called for the execution of Republicans, I'd say any independent, any moderate that's kind of teetering on that fence, right? Maybe I like Biden, maybe I don't. At that point would be pushed away from Biden completely, right? If he called for the execution of Republicans.
Yeah, I fully agree. Look, Trump's a dirtbag. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and try to defend the guy. He's a horrible human being, and the stuff that he's done has crossed the line. He's done too many things in the last 10 months to cross that line. So when I say I'm 51%, I may be 49%. I mean, once again, my historic roots of being a conservative Republican are the only reason I'm even close to that number right now.
Yeah,
If it was just Trump, I
listen.
would be negative 20.
When I think of like the historical roots of being a Republican, I think like small government, I think fiscal conservatism, right? I think those values, right?
Yeah, but my party left me. My party has left me. My party is not my party.
Yeah, you're right. So MAGA is like pro large government, no fiscal conservatism. Maybe is there like any social values that you hold that maybe I could debate you on? Like, are you like pro traditionalism? Think that men are like better at leading into women, anti-abortion?
I'm not religious. Let's talk immigration. Let's talk immigration. Now, let me tell you my view. Look, I want immigration reform. I wish Biden had not waited till his third or fourth year in office to try to come up with a immigration reform. If he would have done it in the first or second year, I would think it was more genuine and not just a political thing.
Well, what I will say is that Lankford begun drafting that bipartisan border bill in late 2021. It just took a while to get it to the floor of the House because of the nature of a bipartisan border bill in modern American politics.
Yeah. You know what, bottom line, I guess I wish I started working on it earlier. Bottom line, look, I want all the center left and center right people to run this country. Far left, far right is destroying our country, bottom line. So when it comes to immigration, I wish we could do amnesty like Reagan did, but it just scares me that if you do amnesty, does that not just give everyone else incentive to come over here illegally?
Well, so
look,
first and
we
foremost,
need immigrants.
First and foremost, in America today, amnesty is further left than the Democratic Party.
Okay. Yeah. So more, you got to be further left, not like a central Democrat would not be for amnesty.
Like a central leaning liberal is like anti-amnesty, right? But just to respond here, I'll quickly answer this question. Then I probably am going to move on since you're not a Trump supporter. I understand what you're saying when you argue, well, if we just do mass amnesty, wouldn't this just incentivize everybody to take those undocumented means of entry to get that amnesty, since it should be a quicker mean of like legalization compared to the legal means of immigration? And my response to that is I think that amnesty would play a part of a larger picture where not only are we expediting those legal pathways to residency or citizenship for the for the undocumented immigrants in this country, but also using the same means of amnesty to expedite the legal means of entry into this country.
Absolutely. They need to put a ton of money not into ICE, but into judges and get more people. We need immigrants.
Actually, everything that you just said is true. I couldn't agree more.
And that's why I may be a Democrat in disguise. I'm a rhino. I'm probably a rhino at the end of the day. Because can I just say one thing though that you said earlier? You were talking about it costs like $78,000 to get a person out of the country. Well, okay, it costs a lot of money to get a burglar.
I don't think that's directly what I said. I think that I talk about the cost of like mass deportation costing us $2 trillion over the course of the next 10 years, right? And I agree, like cracking down on crime costs money, right? It costs money to house like murderers in jail, right? But the reason why I bring up the cost of mass deportation isn't to argue because of this on its own, therefore mass deportation is bad, but rather is that cherry on top that exacerbates its wrongness, right? Because not only does it like significantly hurt this country's like murderers and right, and taxable revenue. Not only does it increase crime rates, not only does it destabilize our industries, but the cherry on top is that it also costs $2 trillion to get it done.
Yeah, it costs too much. So, okay, can I just say one last thing as a dad before we go? Just one last thing. Trump's going to be gone, Trump's going to be gone in 3 years. It's very easy to beat up on Trump, and that's your thing right now. You need to go to law school. Just get your undergrad degree. And all you gotta do, you'll probably do phenomenally well on the LSAT. You're very intelligent. You can do incredible things. The Trump thing will eventually run out. So please go to law school. You can do great things for this country.
Well, I appreciate you for your words, Mr. 55-year-old white man millionaire Texas guy. But I hope you have a good rest of your day. Definitely something I'm considering. It's a possibility. I don't know if I'll end up doing it. But wow, dude, that's crazy. Oh my goodness. See, that is what a Republican should be like. I am like so excited for the day and the hopeful future of this country where that is what a political disagreement looks like. Like if that's what political disagreements could look like, the conversation I had with that last guest, eudaimonia. Oh my God, fucking monia. So great, so great. Anyways, welcome in A Loser 4586. Do you support Trump?
No, but I just would like to say real quick.
I'm sorry you are banned because we are just looking for Trump supporters. You do take care though. Have a good rest of your day. Yo, Twin, appreciate you for the 20 big ones over on YouTube Super Chat. Twin didn't leave a message. Only the love. Thank you so much, man. Let's get 200 Twin W's down below. And by the way, if you're watching and you're like, hey, I like this Dean guy, I like what he does, you could actually find my Venmo, my PayPal right there. But you could also more preferably find the links in the link tree in my bio on TikTok and in the pinned comment on that YouTube stream. You could send over a donation with an attached message, and I could just like read it off on live. Like right now we have one from Christian right here with a $5 on Venmo. He says, for the Momo treats. Thank you, Christian. What's going on? Golden, do you support Trump?
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Do you support Trump?
No, the fact is that, mostly I'm streaming from Africa, mostly.
Shout out to you, man, but we are only looking to talk to people in America. You just take care. Moving on to the next guest, Lacey. Here we go, folks. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
You're like 4. Goodbye. Moving on to the next guest, Lena. All right, guys. If you think it is a fact that Donald Trump is a good president, feel free to go and hop into that queue and we'll get you up here. Hello, do you support Trump?
Hey, so what kind of vape do you use?
What?
What kind of vape do you use?
Oh, well, it's actually not a vape. Thank you so much for asking, and I'm really happy that I could clarify here. But it's quite frankly not a vape at all. It's an anxiety pen with lavender and chamomile. I am really happy that you could give me such a good opportunity to clarify that, right? It's just lavender and chamomile, natural herbs. Okay. Hello, do you support Trump?
Yo.
Ty, you MAGA?
So I used to, just a little side note, I used to join your live for like the last 2 years. I'm kind of like the Texas guy. I kind of teeter-totter. So I'm kind of at like a 50-50 right now with everything that's been going on.
Okay, let's see if I can get you off the
definitely
fence.
starting to hate on Trump now.
I'm gonna just tell you something that I wanted to tell the last guest that I didn't end up getting to say. So if somebody was like 50-50 with Biden under his presidency, and then Biden called for the execution of Republicans, do you think that pushed them off the fence?
Oh yeah, that if that was the rules were reversed, yeah, I'd be out of there.
The President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, is now... To clarify, you heard me right. If you want members of our military to honor their oath and uphold the Constitution, then Donald Trump wants you dead. So here's everything that you need to know. Donald Trump posted this on Truth Social. He responded to a post published by the Washington Examiner titled, Democratic Veterans in Congress urge service members to refuse unspecified unlawful orders by saying that this is really bad and dangerous to our country and that their words cannot be allowed to stand. He then followed that up with a second post that reads, this is seditious behavior, punishable by death. And then he reposted a comment that reads, quote unquote, hang them, George Washington would. This...
Yeah, I don't got too much to say about that one, champ.
Fantastic, Ty. Have a great rest of your day, man. And by the way, the physique is looking fuego.
Thanks, brother. Have a good day.
You too. You too. Moving on. All right. You know, honest shit, dude. I kind of like talking to the fence sitters a little bit. I mean, God, so much more sufferable. Not insufferable, but sufferable than the hardcore Trump supporters. Like, I wish it was always that easy. You know, I kind of forgot that like majority of people aren't just like absolutely insane. I feel like this guess might. Hello, Jonathan.
How's it going, man?
M. Ruby.
Yeah, that's my middle and last name. Middle name's Michael, last name's Ruby.
Do you have a brother?
I have 2 brothers.
Are you like the M. Ruby I'm thinking about? Do I know you?
I don't feel like you do, no.
Okay. Well, there was this absolutely crazy like far-right Christian creator on TikTok a while ago named Platform, and he had a brother named In Ruby, I believe, that same name, and he was also a far-right Christian that I'd debate a lot way back in the day. So, I mean, just funny. I guess it's just a coincidence. So, anyways, do you support Trump?
I do.
God. Okay, then you don't follow God.
Oh. I don't know if I support that.
Well, I mean, I think it's clear. Like, if you're supporting the guy that refused to abide by a court order compelling him to feed 16 million starving American children, that you're not too pro-Bible, considering the fact that in the Bible and books like Psalm, God tells us that the glory we give to those with the lesser than us is the glory will be given in the kingdom of heaven. Or in Matthew, when it's said that the way that you treat those with lesser than you is the way that you're treating the Lord your God, right? So when Donald Trump is treating those with lesser than him like absolute shit, refusing to feed them, taking their health care away, taking their purchasing power away, quadruple whamming them with the tariffs, right? I'd kind of say that you're supporting a guy who's giving a big middle finger to the big G.
Well, I mean, you can look at it like that, but I don't necessarily see the tariffs as a bad thing. I know that, immediate term, they kind of, they hurt prices. But when you look at it long term, it benefits more because what a tariff does, right, is it puts a tariff on exported goods. So now you have to buy American goods, which boosts the American economy.
It's imported goods. And we'll have that conversation about tariffs. But before we do, I just kind of want you to stick on the theme of the point that I made there, which is if you follow Trump, then you don't follow God, because Donald Trump is antithetical to that of what God would want, per the teachings of the gospel.
I feel like Trump's not perfect by no means, by the way, but I don't know that necessarily claims that just because I agree with how he runs the country, maybe don't necessarily agree with how he is as a moral person, doesn't mean necessarily that I think that I'm not a Christian.
Well, the way that he runs the country is just so antithetical to that of the gospel. And like the option that we had to Trump was more in alignment and fit with the gospel. Like, what is like one Christian value that you believe Donald Trump represents?
One Christian value that I think Donald Trump represents?
Yes.
Let's see. The question with that is I don't necessarily vote based off of my beliefs. I vote based off of who I think is going to run the country better.
Well, wouldn't you think one person would run the country better than another person predicated on your beliefs?
I think economically Trump's policies is better.
How can you argue that when economically speaking, he's fucking over the working class and he's fucking over low-income Americans, which is in direct contradiction to the teachings of the Bible?
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, brother.
Like economically speaking, he's terrible for the working class. He's terrible for low-income Americans. He's terrible for the economy as a whole. GDP growth is down 1%. Investment in American business is dwindling. Inflation is up. Unemployment is up. Job reports are down. Low-income Americans are struggling. He took healthcare away from 10 million of them. Low-income Americans are struggling times 2. He took food stamps away from 3 million of them. The working class is struggling. He got Republicans in Congress to fail to re-implement this ACA subsidy that would have prevented the price of Medicaid through the ACA by going up by 300%, right? So not only, like, economically speaking, is he bad, but right, the economic policy in which he supports is also antithetical to the teachings of the gospel.
Right, but when you consider his economical, when he ran the first time compared to how Biden's was, the economy was in a better situation, was it not? I mean, prices were a lot better.
The economy was in a better situation before the pandemic, not because of Trump or the introduction of Biden, but rather because of the pandemic.
Right, but you could also argue that because of the pandemic, once the pandemic closed, things started to get better. That doesn't necessarily represent Biden's reputation. That just shows the pandemic was over, things started to get better again, right?
Well, the bounce back would only put us at the point where we were before the pandemic started, but Biden put us at a point significantly beyond where we were at before the pandemic started.
I feel like the statistics, because there was, you have to tell me, how many years was Trump in term before the pandemic hit?
3.
So he had 3 years.
3-ish.
Right. And I feel like in those 3 years, his economic state was at a lot higher, a lot better level.
So what's the good economic policy that Trump passed in his first term?
Good economic policy. I was always a big supporter of the tariffs for like the reason I said. I feel like over time,
the tariffs that he imposed in his first term were terrible.
Over time, though, they grow, and over time they become beneficial.
So what tariffs did he impose in his first term that you liked?
I can't give you a whole specifics on the tariffs. I can't sit here.
So what I'm specifically asking you for is any specifics surrounding anything that Donald Trump did in his first term that you're a fan of, since you're the one that brought it up and argued that you were a fan of it. I mean, I feel like that's fair considering the fact that we're having a political debate on the subject. No.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I'm not. No, you're completely right. I just can't sit here and like name a specific tariff. I just know that in general, his tariff policies, when given time, would benefit the economic state of the country.
What makes you think that? What makes you think that? Because I think that's
because granted, once the tariffs, once after a time, you're going to start buying American goods, which feeds back into the American economy because American goods are now cheaper than imported goods. Okay. So now you're buying American goods, which funds our economic system, does it not?
So point number one, the way that we should like make more consumers, right, focus on buying more American goods isn't by increasing the price of goods produced outside of this country that are imported into America, but rather focusing on decreasing the price of goods that are produced inside of this country through smart subsidies to allow producers to pay their employees fair living wages while also keeping the price of their products low, right? And second of all, right, you're arguing that this would be like a long-term effects of his tariffs. Well, Donald Trump is like implementing these tariffs and repealing them like a month in the future, right? He implemented the worldwide tariffs on every other country. They were gone in 30 days. He implemented the 300% tariff on China. That was gone in less than 30 days. He implemented the 50% tariff on Argentina. That was gone in less than 15 days, in which he then turned around and gave them $40 billion. And then he implemented tariffs on all of these grocery goods and commodities like coffee and beef. Now when the prices started to go up, which was a natural outcome, of course, to make the coffee and beef produced in America less expensive, he inevitably repealed them for affordability, right? Not to mention, right, that with the introduction of these tariffs and the destabilizing effect that they have on our industries, because now all of a sudden we're focused on producing things that we're bad at making, because it like just what it does is it cancels out the benefits of comparative advantage, which allows us to focus on what we're good at producing, which makes a more productive economy as a whole. Right now, all of a sudden, right, investors are less confident in investing into American manufacturing, which is why we finally see a downtrend in quarterly investment into American manufacturing after a boom for 3 years straight under Biden. Right? There's no real benefit to the tariffs, and if there was, then maybe he wouldn't be repealing them.
I mean, yeah, that's a fair argument. I'll concede on that argument. I'll give that to you. I don't know that I'm ready necessarily to switch sides. I have to do more. I will say this. How he has been in the past few weeks, I've been kind of disagreed with. He's done some things I've questioned. I don't know that I necessarily would jump over to the left just because.
Why doesn't like the calling for the execution? Why doesn't like the calling for the execution of Democrats make you just jump off the MAGA plane, dude? Like that's just so insane. Like that's so insane, right? To watch this president that you support call for the execution of his like political opponents and then continue to support them.
I mean, when I saw his post and I saw the news media take a hold of it, but from the perspective I saw it, and you may have seen something or heard something I didn't see. It didn't seem like he was necessarily calling for execution as much as he was, condemning their actions by telling the military to, absolutely just disregard any kind of political or any kind of demand or order.
So let's get this one real straight. An example.
Okay.
So when Donald Trump says that this is seditious behavior punishable by death, and then reposts a post that says hang them, he's not necessarily calling for their death.
Okay, so yeah, see, I haven't seen the repost. I will say I have not seen the repost.
He says it's punishable by death, and then he reposts something that says hang them. He's definitely calling for their execution.
Yeah. See, I'll be honest, I hadn't seen the repost. So I will say I definitely don't agree with that, don't support that. He may lose my support. I still know that I would go to the left. I just may not be a...
Well, dude, we just had that 55-year-old white man Texas millionaire up here. He's not on the left. He's just a traditional Republican, and he fucking doesn't like Trump.
Right. I mean, and
right,
seeing comments like that.
Like right now, I'm just asking you to take one step right in the right direction. That first step in the right direction just means that you're retracting your support from Trump, not necessarily hopping on board with the Dems.
I could see myself removing my support for Trump. I could see that. Given that statement,
Yeah, it's like what's
given the
something,
repost.
What's something that Trump could do that would make you stop supporting him? Definitely.
I think if he just was blatantly, that's a tough one. That comment right there is that's close enough. Just calling for the death of anybody to me is close enough.
Perfect. Okay, all right.
But
I think
I
the
would say
conversation
that,
should end there, right?
yeah, that's fine. I would like to say, by the way, Dean, all respect to you, man. I didn't come in here with no bad intentions. I like what you do. I do follow you. I do respect you. And yeah, you gave me a little bit to think about in terms of supporting Trump. I think I'll probably stay right, just with some of the political beliefs I have. But my view in Trump might be changed.
Cool,
I
man.
would like to at some point, if you decide to do religious debates again, I would love to get into you with that. But obviously, that's not the point of this one right now.
Okay, yeah, for sure. I bet we'll do more of those in the future. Well, I appreciate you for coming up, man. Yeah, like I said, right, the purpose of this live today is just to try to get people to take that first step, right? It's just to step away from Trump. Even if that still means that you're a Republican, just to step away from Trump. All right, guys, we're going to move on to the next guest. We have a couple people to thank here over on Venmo and PayPal. Once again, I really do appreciate everyone for all the love you guys have shown today. Sharonda, thank you so much for the $15 over on PayPal. That is CHARONDA, who says, Dean, you're definitely my favorite chef. Keep cooking, kid. Appreciate you, Sharonda. Show some love to Sharonda down below. Thank you so much for your kindness. Dude, huge shout out to Sharonda. Then Justin, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo, who says, I don't want to tell you how to run your life, but talking to the fence sitters is nice. Yeah, it is nice. It's really easy, right? It's like really easy, right? To like change the mind of a fence sitter, right? Because all that you got to show them is like Donald Trump literally calling for the execution of Democrats. And if they're good faith, right, that's going to change their mind. Couldn't have done it better myself. Honestly, Jay, thank you for just reaffirming, right, that I'm so good at what I do that I could literally predict your next action. Great. What's up, Anthony? Do you support Trump?
I do.
All right. What about you, Young Chrome X?
Nah, bro. I was just coming here to tell you I'm a big fan of you.
Hey, man, I appreciate that. All right, Anthony, are you patient?
I am.
All right, let me go and thank a couple people here, and then I'll pass you the mic. Allison, thank you for the $5 over on Venmo. Says women like her are scary. Yeah, Butterbee is pretty scary. Appreciate you for the $5. Anthony, thank you for the $5 as well. And Allison, thank you for the $5. Oh wait, I just thanked you. What the hell am I doing? Justin, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo. Christian, thank you for the $10 on PayPal. Appreciate that, Christian. And Anthony with the $5 and Tyler with the $2. All right, we're all caught up. Go ahead and take it away, man. Why the hell do you still support this terrible president?
Well, I mean, I support him because he is the president. I would have supported any president. I think the Democrats didn't have anybody good to put up against him. So
your argument is that because he's a president, you support him?
Yeah, he's our president. He's the United States president. I mean,
you'd support the president. You'd support the president.
Want him to succeed.
So wanting somebody to succeed is not the same thing as supporting them, because when you support somebody, that means that you think they are succeeding. Not that you want them to succeed. It means that you think they are.
Well, in that case, no president would have been supported in the past, how many years? They've all sucked, honestly.
Oh, so you think that Trump sucks?
I mean, no, I wouldn't say he sucks. I think he's good at some things, bad at some things.
Come on, I'd say he sucks. He's like calling for the execution of Democrats. It's pretty sucky.
Well, didn't Jay Jones do the same thing over text message? He called for the death of Republicans and their kids.
No, not even. Jay Jones said that he wouldn't care if they died, which, by the way, I disagree with. That's like crazy, right? But I'd still condemn Jay Jones. So I'd still say that Jay Jones sucks for saying that. Like, Jay Jones definitely fucking sucks, right, for saying that he wouldn't care about the death of the children of his political opponent, and probably should.
And he just won the election.
Right. So would you say that he shouldn't have won the election because he said that?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, people make mistakes.
Oh,
that's kind of
unforgivable. See how I'm like using your dude. All of a sudden, now you're defending Jay Jones.
No, not necessarily defending him. I mean, I would say that for anybody on left or right. Like,
so Donald Trump literally wants Democrats to die, and your response is, "Well, people make mistakes. He's still a good president."
I mean, I don't know that he necessarily. My thing about Trump is, I think he does do a little bit too much on like whatever platform he's on.
Oh, he's just doing too much. No, he's just doing too much. No, that's grounds to get him impeached. I don't think that the president.
Why isn't he getting impeached?
Because the GOP holds a majority in both houses, in both chambers of Congress.
So there's nothing he can do to get impeached.
Not right now, no.
So he can do anything. He just won't get impeached.
Yeah, probably.
You know that's not true.
I mean, I think that the GOP bends the knee to him, and then when we have somebody in the GOP that doesn't bend the knee to him, he calls them a traitor and causes them to have an onslaught of death threats.
I mean, maybe if he gets some top in the Oval Office like Clinton, he'll get impeached, because didn't Clinton get impeached for that?
Yeah, he did, and I think that Donald Trump is already guilty of sins a billion times worse, like raping E. Jean Carroll, sexually abusing and assaulting, exploiting women and girls at Miss Teen USA, Miss USA, or lying about the nature of his relationship with Epstein for the last 20 years. He's always said that he didn't know what Epstein was doing, but then we had an email from 2011 where Epstein did say that he knew what he was doing. So if you think that it was responsible for the House of Representatives to impeach Bill Clinton for what he did to Monica Lewinsky, considering the fact that Donald Trump is guilty of sins a billion times worth, you'd argue that Donald Trump should be impeached today?
Well, first off, I don't think didn't so Trump kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago. I think these Epstein things are going to backfire on the Democrats.
Right. So you're
big
just
time.
not.
I think it's already.
You're not going to respond to anything that I said. You're not going to listen to the substance of my position.
I was.
You're just going to deflect. No, because Democrats had nothing to do with the substance of my question.
Repeat your question. My bad.
Of course, you weren't listening. Also, for everybody in the chat making that claim, once again, I got the live channels on my Discord open, so you know what to do. Drop the evidence in there. Now, the question was, do you think that the House of Representatives should have impeached Bill Clinton for what he did?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's a good. I don't think so. No, I don't know. I don't know if he got. And you can correct me. I don't know all the details.
You're so bad at this. You're so you like try to bring. You tried to bring.
Did he get impeached for the act, or did he get impeached for lying about it?
You tried to bring up what. Let's see here. You tried to bring up what Jay Jones said. And then I turned the logic around on you, and I was like, okay, so therefore, because of what Jay Jones did, do you think he should have lost the election? Then you realized how I'd be able to connect the dots to what Donald Trump is doing today, and you're like, people make mistakes. And then you brought up what Bill Clinton did, and like you're like, how that got him impeached in the House. And then I brought it up to Trump, and I was going to make a connection, right? And you're like, I don't think he should have been impeached, right? So matter of fact, man, I think that Donald Trump has done about 1 billion things worse than what Bill Clinton did with Monica Lewinsky. He's raped a woman. He's sexually exploited women and girls.
I don't know if he did that.
Court proved it.
He was found liable in a civil court for defamation and sexual assault, not rape.
So the sexual assault was rape.
So it's not. I seen it live the other day when you pulled it up, and literally the paper that you put was checked. No grape, and then you went into like an explanation of how, oh, well, if it was now, it would have been great. Well, it wasn't. Like,
Check
you
this
can't
out.
be like, oh.
Check this out. We'll make it easy. Define rape.
Why don't you do it?
Nope. I want you to do it.
Also, do you support Biden?
I'll answer your question after you answer mine. Stop running. Define rape. I think he's running. He's going on pause to go to Google to maybe look up the definition. Maybe I'd like to clarify here. We can't hear you when you leave the app. It's fine that you're looking it up. I don't care.
My bad.
I don't care if you're looking it up. That's fine. But I'm just asking here. Define rape.
Yeah, I would say forcefully penetrating a person. Doesn't have to be a woman. You can rape. Guys can get raped without their consent. I would say that's like
so forceful penetration, right, without consent. So what like specific action did the jury hold Trump liable for? Do you know? Like precisely, what did they determine he did to E. Jean Carroll?
Well, I don't know. You tell me.
So the forceful penetration of her female member with his fingers and the lack of consent. So the reason why I say it's grape is because
can you grape somebody with your fingers? That's a good question.
Yeah, you can. In accordance with the definition that you just gave of forceful penetration, he forcefully penetrated her female member with his fingers. In accordance with the definition, in accordance with the definition of grape that you just gave to us, Donald Trump graped her.
So in that case, Biden graped a woman too.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I can pull it up. He was accused. I don't know if it went to court and everything, but a woman accused him.
The but Biden is really exhausting. I'll still entertain your delusions nonetheless.
I mean, you can look it up. It's legitimate, and she. I can look it up right now and give you her name.
Don't worry, you don't need to. I know it. It's Tara Reid.
No, not Tara Reid.
What the hell?
No, this was a girl. This was a girl that worked in the House of Representatives. She said that Biden came up to her at a bookshelf, pushed her up against the wall, inserted his finger in her. She tried to get away, and he kind of was like, after she denied him, he was like, "Oh, I thought you liked me." She ended up having to quit. She moved to Russia. She was scared. You can look all this up. Like it's legit. So I've seen it in Wikipedia.
That's Tara Reid.
No, it's not Tara Reid.
How much money do you want to bet?
There's multiple.
How much money do you want to bet that right now you're talking about Tara Reid?
All right, give me 1 second. I'm gonna.
No.
I'm gonna go.
But how much money? $100?
I know for a fact I'm not talking about Tara Reid.
So $100.
$5.
5?
Yeah,
$5. Why not 100?
Because I'm broke. I gotta pay rent, bro. Got the first coming up.
All right, we don't need to make a bet, man. But you're talking about Tara Reid. Tara Reid is who accused Biden of raping her, lied about it in court, contradicted herself a billion times, had her lawyer drop her as a client, then she dropped the suit, then fled to Russia and joined a misinformation campaign. You're going to go to Google, you're going to try to find their name. Their name's going to be Tara Reid. You're going to come back and you're going to apologize. While he's doing that, Kimber, thank you so much for the $25 over on Venmo. I really appreciate you so much for the love, Kimber. For everybody watching now, please show some love to Kimber down below in that chat. That is KIMBR. So good to see you again today. BER, sorry. Kimber says, I love you, Dean. Thank you so much for getting me through a lot. Depression and mental health issues are constant in my life, but you are too. I couldn't thank you enough. Oh, Kimber, I'm really happy that the streams help you out. I've definitely had some rough patches in my life, and these streams have really helped me out too. They're a really good mental distraction. And then Victoria, thank you for the $15 over on Venmo, who says, I'm disgusted while the people saying, quote unquote, why wasn't he arrested? My daughter was victimized by somebody like him and Epstein. I fought hard for her. They wouldn't put a 6-year-old against a psychopath. She died at 44 of autoimmune disease and PTSD. Damn these people. Oh, Victoria, I'm really sorry to hear that. I mean, listen, I just, it's so, I just can't. I can't conceive of the horrors and atrocities of what you have gone through in your life, and the same with your daughter. Paige, thank you for the $1. Allison, thank you for the 5. And we're all caught up. If you're watching and you do want to support me, you can find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bio on TikTok and the pinned comment over on that YouTube stream. And I appreciate everyone so much for all the love and support. So her name's Tara Reid, right?
I'll go ahead and vend you $5, but
you don't need to do that. You're good.
Yeah, but yes, that's exactly what for some reason I thought it was a different name, and then when you said Tara Reid, I thought about the actress because I thought she did accuse somebody of something one time. But yeah, that was the person I was talking about. So
yeah, I don't think that Tara Reid's allegation was credible.
Really? I thought you seem like somebody that would like believe all women when they accuse people of something.
So when we have like a lot of reason to believe that an allegation is not credible, it's okay not to believe them. And we do in her circumstance, right? So like the evidence that we have to believe that her allegation is not credible would be the fact that she had contradicted herself and was proven to have lied at multiple points within her testimony. And then she ended up dropping the suit, fleeing to Russia, and joining a misinformation campaign.
Okay, that's fair, but Eugene Carroll, if I'm not mistaken.
It's not Eugene.
Eugene, yeah. Didn't she say something about, she said rape is sexy. She also said that the dress that she was wearing, she described it. It actually, the dress hadn't even came out yet. If I'm not out during that time. So if you're saying that Tara is maybe possibly making stuff up, maybe Eugene Carroll was as well.
Well, it's funny because the two reasons that you just gave to attempt to deem her accusation as not credible were both false. See, that's why I think it's so credible. Because the only things that you could conceive of to argue that he didn't rape her are two big lies. She never said that she thinks rape is sexy. She was sitting down in an interview with Anderson Cooper from CNN, and she was talking about how a lot of people think that grape is sexy, which is absolutely true. Think about CNC. Think about the romanticization of grape within like lewd books, so on and so forth. And then she went on to say it's not sexy, it's violent, right? So you completely lied there. Then the second point is also a lie. The source for the claim that the dress she claimed that she was wearing was not manufactured in that year, and the manufacturer came out and justified that, is nothing more than like propaganda disseminated on Truth Social and Facebook. There's no legitimate evidence that any manufacturer of any dress came out and argued that they were not making that dress in the years that she claimed she was raped. So the 2 points you just try to make to me to refute that Donald Trump raped her were both violent misinformation.
I don't know that. I would have to look it up. Like I said, when I looked up the dress thing with the manufacturer, it was legit. It wasn't like any like
you couldn't provide me any evidence for that.
I can look it up again. I mean, it's going to take a second.
There's
but I can
no
look it up.
evidence that you could give me to justify that claim.
I just did, and
No,
you can
you
say
didn't give
that it
me any
wasn't
evidence.
true.
You just said, just because you say something doesn't mean that there exists evidence for it. If I say, right, that I'm 6'4" with a massive penis, that doesn't mean it's true. Okay, I'm like 5'9", right? And I'm not going to make that self-deprecating joke because people would have taken it seriously.
Right.
That would have been a joke though. But anyways, I'm not going to. Okay, sorry, I was about to make a self-deprecating joke. But anyway, anyways, yeah, the Trump supporters would have ran crazy with that. It doesn't make it true.
Okay, well, I just say, you know, you can say one. It's just weird how you say one is true, one is not true. And like I said, I want to believe both of them, and you know, I like to believe women, but we all know like there have been women who have accused men of things.
What is going on with the camera? There we go. Go ahead.
Oh, what's up? Oh,
sorry, the camera
I'm
was
just
getting all blurry.
Oh, my bad. I was just say like, you know, I would like to be somebody who believes all women, but unfortunately, there have been women who have, you know, took advantage of a situation and accused people of stuff, and it came back not true. It just makes it look bad. So, I mean, I guess
Right.
I
Well,
guess,
now what you're saying is because it is possible for somebody to make a false allegation of rape, that therefore you're going to baselessly assume that it's false in this circumstance, even though it was proven in court and agreed to by 9 unanimous jurors, based upon a preponderance of evidence suggested the inconsistency within Donald Trump's own testimony, on top of his character proving that he does things that rapists do, right? Like being best buddies with Epstein, like sexually exploiting the women and girls at Miss Teen USA and Miss USA, you know, like calling women piggy, so on and so forth, that you're not going to believe it in this circumstance. It is weak MAGA sophistry that ultimately amounts to the baseless denial of sexual violence and the perpetuation of rape culture.
and you know, I don't agree with any of that stuff. Like if it came out,
but that's what you're engaging in, right? Because you have absolutely no reason to dispute the merits of the case that proved Donald Trump raped a woman, but yet you do so nonetheless.
Not really. I don't condone that, but
So
also
then why don't you
there's
accept the
enough,
outcome
there's
of the
enough
court?
questions
Why
to where
do
I'm like,
why do
I
you
don't
not
know.
accept the outcome of the court?
So the court has never been wrong ever. There's never been a case where they ruled something. There's
Oh
not
my
people
God!
that are in
See,
jail.
once again, I will repeat what I just told you. Has the government ever lied?
All the time.
So therefore, does this give you sufficient reason to know that they were lying when they said that Bush didn't do 9/11?
Hold, say that again.
So therefore, because the government can lie, does this on its own give you enough evidence to assume that they were lying when they suggested that Bush did not do 9/11?
No.
All right, exactly. So just because the courts can be wrong doesn't give you enough evidence to believe that they were wrong when they adjudicated that Trump raped Jean Carroll.
I don't know. It's just, to me, it's enough. It's enough iffy questions.
Bro, but the only
that,
question you have is like, oh, can the court possibly be wrong? That doesn't give you reason. Like, oh, the court
Not
can
really.
possibly be
No.
wrong. Therefore,
I
when
looked
like,
at the case. It looks a little sketchy.
therefore, when the court found Jeffrey Dahmer guilty, you have enough evidence to deny his guilt. Therefore, when they found Epstein's guilt, right? Well, they can be wrong. Therefore, you have enough reason to deny Epstein's guilt, right? No, you don't have any reason to believe that the outcome of the court was wrong. What is it?
I mean, like I said, I'm not saying I don't believe it. I think there's I think there's a lot of people like on the left and right that are. I think my broader point, I guess, is that a lot of these politicians, if not all of them, are sleazebags. They're bad people.
You couldn't even find as much as a parking ticket on Kamala Harris's record, and you're trying to baselessly compare her to an adjudicated rapist. God.
All right, Kamala Harris was like not a good candidate.
I know. Now you're about to say, well, at this one rally, she changed her accent, therefore she's worse than the guy that cooed the government. Yeah, I know. We hear it all the time.
I mean, she just didn't come off good. She can't speak well. She doesn't answer questions. When she was in California.
Yeah, get the fuck off my live. It's just embarrassing. I literally just predicted it. Oh, she doesn't speak well, therefore, right? We're going to take the guy that raped a woman. Oh, I don't think that she speaks well, therefore, we're going to take the guy that tried to coup our government. Oh, she doesn't speak well, therefore, we're going to take the guy that sexually exploited women and girls. Oh, she doesn't speak well, therefore, we're going to take the guy that said that Democrats need to be hung. Like, it's just weak. Oh my God, it's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing, dude. Holy shit. What's up? Do you support Trump?
No, I just wanted to say what's up, Dean. We was on the live.
Hey, appreciate you for that love. I hope that you're doing all right. Thank you so much for coming up. Hope that you're good. Right now, we are only looking to talk to some Trump supporters. She ended that by saying we were on that live. Are you talking about Patriots Live? I think I remember you. If so, if I'm thinking of the right person, you were absolutely cooking. We're going to go to get that next guest loaded up in here right now, guys. Only join in that queue if you are an American adult that supports Trump as president. A couple people to thank here. Let's see who we got. Thank you, Pamela, for the $10 on PayPal. She says, Dean, I love you. You're the best. I've been watching you for a month now. Yo, that's awesome, Pamela. Thank you for the 10. Sean with the $2. I'm not going to be doing that, Sean. Phil with the $5. Thank you so much for the love, Phil. And yeah, we're all caught up. Thank you, guys. What's up? Do you support Trump, Will?
Absolutely.
Are you driving, Will?
No, my mom is.
Can you have your mom say hey?
No, she doesn't want to talk to you. Big Dick Dean, quit trying to get with my mom, man. That's fucked up.
God, Will, get off my life. You're definitely driving. What are we doing? What are we doing, Will? We're gonna move on to what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing, man? What are we doing? Moving on to the next guest right now, guys. All right, what's up? Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Embarrassing. You. What?
Yo, do you eat ass?
No, but you want to eat Trump's.
What's up, Dean?
You already eat enough of his shit on the daily. What now? You'd like that too. Hello, do you support Trump?
Absolutely not. I just wanted to come up here and say that I watch your lives every day, and I'm a big fan.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you for that kindness. Let's go to move on to the next guest, Heather. Only join inside of that queue if you are a Trump supporter. Please, quite frankly. All right, moving on to the next guest. Hello, Heather. Do you support Trump? Heather, you got 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bad. Hello, Maximus. Do you support Trump?
Hey, Daddy Dean.
And get out of my life. Thank you so much. Moving on to the next guest, Chloe. Only join inside of that queue if you happen to be a Trump supporter. All right. Moving on. Moving on to Chloe. We also got Mason loading up in. What's up, Chloe? Do you support Trump?
No, but I love your live.
All right. You take care, Chloe. What's up, Mason? Do you support Trump?
I do, but I'm kind of on the edge now where my support of him has kind of dwindled out, if I'm being real.
You're Australian.
I am Australian, but I do believe that American...
Boo. Moving on to the next guest. We got Ryder714 loading up into the box. Holy dude. We can't find anyone to debate. What's up? Do you support Trump?
No, I love you, Dean.
All right. Thank you so much, Ryder. I'm going to say this to you, Ryder, and to everybody else. Please hop out of the queue unless you are an American adult that supports Trump. If you're in the queue just to say that you love me, I love you too. I think that you're great. I think that you're phenomenal. But please, at this moment in time, just head out. Just leave that box. Just so we could try to get some debates going on here. What's up, man? You support Trump?
White ass nigga going hard as fuck.
Okay, definitely makes sense that you would be a Trump supporter. Would also make sense that you have a very small brain. Okay, moving on to the next guest right now. Wait, this is the same wheel we just had up here. Same wheel we just had up here. Moving on to the next guest. This guy's name is 6'2 Feminist. Yes, I drink matcha. No, it's not performative.
Hello? Am I here?
Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes. But, like, not in the way you would think. Yeah.
So this is the 6'2 Feminist?
Yeah, okay, so I'm 18 years old, and I'm actually, like, kind of in the middle a little bit, but I do lean more right, okay? I want you to come on here.
How could you lean right if you're a 6'2 Feminist?
Well, listen, I'm more about, like, what is affecting, like, our personal lives and, like, economy-wise and, like, you know, all that type of stuff. But I do have a real open mind about this type of stuff, and it's like the only reason I go towards Trump and everything is because of business and, you know, like stuff like that.
That doesn't sound too 6'2 feminist of you. So why do you support Trump?
I support Trump because of his economic policies and his way with money.
Yeah, which ones? Which economic policies?
Okay, so his tariffs have brought money into the USA. We're getting rid of our debt. I do have problems with like our ties with Israel in all of our politics, so I kind of don't like politics in general. But me leaning right, I lean towards the economic side of Trump and what he's doing to eliminate our debt and stuff instead of looking at the feelings of, like what the U.S. is like, their feelings and stuff, I guess. I don't know how to explain it better than
So
that.
if you were truly a 6'2" feminist, right, that was well educated, then you know that Donald Trump tariffs are not putting more money into our economy, right, as our GDP growth is slowing and things are becoming less efficient because of it, not to mention the fact, right, that we've seen a massive reduction in business investment, but also the secondary fact that no, Donald Trump is not chipping away at the national debt, but rather adding to it. Just in the last 10 months, he's added $5 trillion to our debt. He signed the most expensive bill in American history into law, that being the Big Beautiful Bill. Keep in mind, this is more money added to the debt than the Biden-Harris administration added in 4 years, including their expenditure on COVID. If we factor out their expenditure on COVID, in 10 months, Donald Trump has spent more than twice the amount of money that they spent in 2 years. 10 years, so 4 years, Jesus. But just for your response to that, I'm going to go and leave you here to talk to my buddy Parker for a second because I need to go use the restroom. It's been like 3 hours.
All right,
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I have a question. Could you name one metric that's better off since Trump got in office in terms of the economic standing of the United States?
Well, I think Trump is a businessman himself. Can you re-sentence that?
Yeah, can you name an economic metric that is better off since Trump got in office because of Trump that you think is reason that he's like his good businessman side is like relevant to his economic policy?
Well, what do we have backing the dollar right now?
It's fiat currency.
It's fiat currency. So it's like basically we create the value of the dollar. Everybody's belief that the dollar has a value to it. So Donald Trump's trying to make us the crypto capital of the world. So instead of us just sitting there and not making any money and kind of just printing money and going into a state like what is it? Is it Zimbabwe that has like a whole bunch of hyperinflation and stuff?
There's no evidence that we're going to go into hyperinflation with fiat currency that we have. I would argue that fiat currency actually allows for us to mitigate things like such as hyperinflation because we have the ability to change the level of money supply of our currency to be able to limit that from happening. That's why we have the Federal Reserve and we have leading economists upholding that. So if you want to talk about like inflation, why would you support Donald Trump whose policy causes inflation? If you don't want to cause inflation. And in terms of debt-related spending, like Dean already said, he adds more debt-related spending.
So is it the Fed or the president that creates the inflation?
The Fed can specifically do things to affect inflation, and so can the president. The president did so in this context by imposing tariffs, which causes upward pressure on prices, which the Fed has to then respond to because their two mandates are their dual mandate is price stability and maximum employment. So they're trying to essentially keep those at all times. So again, like the idea that like a fiat currency is bad is just like kind of like economically illiterate. Like to be totally honest with you, like there's no real good basis or position for that. And then also there's nothing good we get from switching to crypto.
Oh, no, I'm not even saying that as a thing. I'm just saying like we have zero backing the dollar and it's all pretty much going like off of what the USA believes and like what we think is happening, and we can just print money. If we can just print money, supply and demand is a thing. So if we have more supply of money going around, the less demand of money.
We would have to print more money because of Trump, because of the fact that he's imposed a greater level of debt-related spending. So if you want to limit the level of printing of money, well, then stop supporting Donald Trump, who's signing off on more debt-related spending and causing more inflationary pressure in terms of tariffs. Like literally, his policies across the board push up inflation to a greater extent.
How much have we made off of tariffs? What was the number?
I think it's like 300 billion or something.
300.
Is like the maximum number I've heard.
I think it's more than that, but either way, that's.
I don't even know if that's like the actual legitimate number. And by the way, they haven't even been able to use it because it's been paused.
Yeah. Okay. So
just to let you know, like that's revenue from American companies that then pass it down to American consumers. So that's an increase in the cost of consumer products.
Yes. Okay. I do understand where you guys are coming from, and I really appreciate y'all's view. I only lean right just a tad bit. I don't support Trump. I think he's a terrible human, but I do think that his economic policies are
They're horrible.
He
Not
could've
only
said
is
that
his
a while
character
ago.
horrible, but his econ policy is absolutely terrible.
Oh my God, he
Well,
could've
I'll
said
be
that a while
back. I'm
ago.
gonna go get some food.
Yeah, man.
I'll be right back. Have a good time online.
I'm only going to be on for around another 50 minutes, but if you have some time by the time you're done eating, feel free to hop up.
All right, for sure. I might hop on for like the last few minutes then.
Yeah, take care.
All right, I'll see you,
guys.
bro.
Yep, see ya. We're going to move on to the next guest right now. By the way, if you are watching and you're like, hey, I like this Dean guy. Hey, I want to support him. You can find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bio on TikTok and in that pin message on that YouTube stream. We have around another 50 minutes left on the stream today. Welcome into Sport Trump. What the hell's going on? Hey, Derek, thank you for the $5 over on PayPal. Appreciate you for that love, Derek, who says you're doing a great job. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Show some love to Derek down below. I don't know what it is. I just feel like the guests that we're getting up today are a little bit interesting. Anybody else getting really interesting vibes off these people? What's up, man?
Dean,
You support
I got a
Trump?
question. Why are you saying the N-word on Discord chats, bro?
I actually didn't. You're referring to me saying it like on an Instagram chat when I was 14, not Discord.
Well, also it was Discord. I'm not gonna hold you.
No, it wasn't. It was Instagram. Trust me, I know my own controversies.
So it was just edited. Is that it?
Yeah.
All right.
If you saw something about me saying it on Discord, it was fake, right? The real one was Instagram.
I don't know about that, but
Dude, come on. I know what I've done. I know my controversies. We know that this has been public for like 2 years now.
all right. Can I sing a song though before I leave?
Nope. Moving on to the next
Fuck
guest.
Donald Trump.
Let's go to get that next guest. Arambe, loaded up into the box. What's up? Do you support Trump?
Dean, I love you so much, and I think you're a very intelligent man, young
Well,
man.
I really appreciate you so much for your kindness, man. We're going to move on to the next guest right now. Here we go, everybody. Only up instead of that Q Yappa to be an American adult that supports Trump as president. Only up instead of that Q Yappa to support Trump as president. We're going to get the next guest loaded up in the box right now. We got Kid C99 loaded up into the box. Same thing with Tia. Let's go to get them connected right now. Hello, do you support Trump, Tia? Sorry, not Tia. Kid C? Kid C, hello?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, then please stay out of the queue. Tia, do you support Trump?
It's a vape, not anxiety pen.
Okay, you're like a fetus. Get out of here. Moving on to the box. Guys, oh my goodness. Well, this sucks, man. This is just terrible, man. You can't find anybody to debate today. Seriously, I almost feel... What's up?
I got more than one account, Big Dick Dean.
Nice. What a weirdo. All right, guys. We really don't have too much long left. We're just looking for maybe one person to debate before we hop off.
Hello.
Hey, do you support Trump?
Yes, Dean.
How old are you, Jesse?
19.
What year were you born in?
2006, November 8th.
Are you driving?
No, I'm parked.
Don't believe you. Don't believe you. Don't believe you. Oh, God. Moving on. Moving on. I'm getting a little fed up, guys. I'm getting a little fed up. Hello, do you support Trump, Heather? Heather?
I think you're so smart. I just wanted to say that.
Well, thank you, Hannah. You do take care. Heather, do you support Trump? Heather's not here. Okay. Well, honestly, I'm just I'm interested in maybe just ending the live a little bit early just because we can't find anybody. What's up, Misty? Appreciate you for the $5 on Venmo who says you've successfully made me regret my Trump vote. Oh, that's awesome, Misty. I'm happy. Good for you. And Anna, thank you for the $5 too. Please show some love to Misty and Anna in that chat. What's up, man? You support Trump?
Yeah.
I know you've been spamming in my chat that I'm running from you.
No.
Yeah, you have been. Who are you?
What do you mean?
Just who are you? I mean, you must be somebody important, right, for me to be running from. Oh, well, I guess we'll never know since I just lost access to my mult, I guess. Uh-oh. All right. Well, let's see if we can appeal that ban. Folks, do you think that the appeal is going to go through? All right. I did mean to be muted there. Okay. Yeah, I basically just reached out to the person that was able to help me out a couple days ago. And I was like, hey, I know that you helped me out once. Her name is Maggie. I was like, hey, I know that you helped me out once. Now, I understand that was a one-time thing, right? You helped me out once. You don't need to be helping me out all the time here. If it was just a one-time thing, I completely get it. All is good. But if you have the opportunity to maybe help me out again, here's how you could do it. That's basically what I said there. And I said, thank you so much if you are able to help. But if you're not, no worries at all. I really wish that TikTok was a lot better at handling their creator relations. Because fun fact, I actually had a creator manager from TikTok reach out to me a couple days ago. And they were like, hey, Dean, why haven't you joined LiveFest? You know, this is insert name here from the TikTok creator team. And I'd like talk to him a little bit about the very specific question that they asked me. And then I was like, hey, when I get like bans, is there any way I could contact you to see if you could help me out in any way whatsoever? And then they just didn't respond. It's like not even that they don't have the capacity to help. In many circumstances, I think it's that they don't want to help, which is crazy, right? Like, I don't know. I think that's a little bit nuts. I think that's a little bit nuts. Now here's what we'll do. I think that we're going to honestly spend a little bit of the stream here just doing a little bit of a Q&A. I'll spend some time just talking to you guys. We'll see if I get a response there from Maggie. Once again, if not, no worries. Like, Maggie, I don't know if you're watching now. If you are, if you can't help, I completely understand. I didn't expect that to be anything more than a one-time thing. Now, if you do want to ask a question, feel free to ask it down below in that chat. I'm going to be looking at the chats, but I'm also going to be looking at the Venmo and the PayPal. So if you have a question that you really want answered, ask it on Venmo or PayPal, which you can find at the top of the phone screen, Linktree in bio on TikTok, or like a YouTube super chat, something along those lines. But anyways, for everybody in the TikTok chat that's now spamming, get Momo. I think Momo is somewhere downstairs. She's probably sleeping. She's an EP cat. Dude, cats just sleep all day, man. But they're so dang cute. Well, gotta love Momo. Gotta love Momo. Somebody in the YouTube chat says, how old are you? I'm 21. Yeah, turned 21 in September. So I've been 21 for a couple months now. It's pretty nice. You know, a lot of freedoms. You get a lot of freedoms when you turn 21. Let me be clear. It's nice. It's a nice birthday. Oh, did any of you guys see that the Department of Homeland Security's Twitter account is from Israel? I saw that. I thought that was pretty wild. Emily, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo. And yeah, Emily, I did. Emily's asking, did you see my big donation from earlier? Yes, Emily. Were you tabbed in? I gave you like a big old shout out and everything. I'm really sorry if you missed that. I guess I'll just repeat it real quick. Seriously, thank you so much for your kindness. Seriously, so incredibly kind of you. Brooke, thank you for the $10 super chat. I'm going to ignore your question. Gizmo Joe, thank you for the 10 euros over on super chat. Who says, hey, you used to be Maga. What changed your view? I have 7 cats. Cats rule. Let's go. Yeah, well, what ultimately changed my view on Maga, what finally did it for me, what finally made me go, hey, like, I'm no longer a Trump supporter, was J6, right? I think at that point, I still thought that I liked some of his policies, but it was that point where I was like, okay, I don't think that Donald Trump is an effective governor of America. Now, Ember, thank you for the $2 who says, what do you actually think about thirst traps about you? No comment. Lauren, thank you for the $5. It says, my dog's name was Momo. My cat looks just like yours. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you, Lauren. Let's see here. Tree with the $5 who says, are you going to be live on Thanksgiving? I don't know yet. If I am, I'm going to be live early in the morning before the dinners because I got to go to dinners on my own. Trinity with $5 says, can you believe it hasn't snowed in Colorado yet? I'm so surprised. Yeah, man. Every year the snow gets pushed back later and later and later. Global warming, folks. I feel like Colorado residents see global warming in real time every year. Elias, thank you for the $5 over on Venmo. I'm happy that I help you stay informed. Courtney with $5 who says, how crazy it when people from other countries come up in support of Trump. Some crazy work. Dude, it is some crazy fucking work. Okay? Right? Did you guys see that yesterday? A bunch of MAGA accounts got exposed on Twitter for being from like Nigeria, Serbia, Indonesia, Japan. Right? Like that was also crazy. Just like a bunch of like people not from America running these Twitter accounts with like millions of followers being like, I voted for Trump. I stand with Trump. I'm a patriot. are you support like, dude, insane. Nuts. Completely insane. Right? It really shows you where the American people are at. And yo, Miriam, thank you so much for the $50 on PayPal. That is Miriam. Thank you so much for your kindness. Miriam with the $50 says, when Parker comes back, please tell him to impersonate Trump. He does it so funny. Yeah, he does it pretty funny. I'll make sure to tell him to do a little bit of a Trump impersonation. And seriously, Miriam, thank you for the $50. And Ellie with a $1 in Venmo for Momo's allowance. Micah with the $5 says, how do you do this every day? I'm a 61-year-old adult, and when I listen to your lives, I get mad and sad. It would leave me depressed every day. Well, actually, fun fact, I don't think I've really talked about this much. When I first started doing these lives daily, for the first like 3 or so months, I actually was really depressed. It was a trait that I had to learn, trait that I had to teach myself to be able to keep a positive perspective on the world around me. And to be able to like stay sane while having conversations like the ones that we do for 4 hours a day, every single day. Oh, okay. Maggie just reached back out. Maggie says, happy to help. Dude! God, I love Maggie. She's so cool. She's the best, man. She's the best. She's the best, man. Like, she has like no obligation to help me whatsoever. She is like, dude, she's just like legitimately such a kind person. I really want to be able to find a way to like help repay her. She like runs like a creative marketing agency. I'd love to find a way to like help work with her agency on something or another, just because of how like kind and beneficial she's been, right, to like what we do here, by helping me keep the lives a running. Callisti, thank you for the $1 on PayPal. Lena with the $1 who says, how do you stay so patient with the people? Honestly, it's not even patience. It's just defeat. You know, if I start interrupting one guest and get my cortisol up, like inevitably, right, that conversation's going to be shit. And then I'll just do it again with the next guest. So it's more so just a thing of like being defeated and knowing, right, that me interrupting them is just going to get nowhere except me losing my hair quicker because my cortisol levels will be higher. Hannah, thank you for the $10 over on PayPal. I appreciate that, Hannah. Let's see what Hannah says. The $10. Hannah says, just wanted to say that I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving and dealing with your MAGA relatives isn't too terrible. Oh, it's going to be so bad, Hannah. It's going to be terrible. My family is so MAGA. Corrine with the $6. Thank you so much for the love, Corrine. Feel free to send it over. Kyrie with the 2, thank you so much. Brittany with the 5, who says, I've been using your talking points with my MAGA dad, and yesterday he called himself an independent instead of a Republican. Dude, that's awesome. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Cam, thank you for the $5. Kayla with the 5. And yo, Justin, thank you so much for the $20 on PayPal, my man. Let's see what Justin says. Justin says, hey, Dean, it's been a while since I've donated, but when I saw Trump threat tweet, it reminds me of the book Mein Kampf and what Hitler wrote. Would you agree? Well, I mean, if anything screams dictator, if anything screams tyrant, it is definitely the leader of the world's most powerful country calling for the execution of his political opponents. So I don't fault you for making any potential mental connections there. As well as Allison, thank you for the $10 who says we share the exact same birthday. Oh, that's awesome. Love what you do. Have you heard anything about certain degrees no longer being considered professional degrees? Yeah, I heard something about nursing no longer being considered a professional degree, right? Which means it's not a profession. Right. I think if all like American nurses were to go on strike for a week, I think, right, the Trump administration would really wake up to just how much of an important profession it is. Rona, thank you for the $20. I appreciate you so much for the love, Rona. That is very kind of you. That is very kind of you. And yeah, Rona is just talking about how they hope that we branch out into more than just debates, but also political commentary. You know, I've started to do that at the beginning of like every stream of mine. We talk about the breaking news, and I want to be able to do more of that because I actually really like it. I really like it. Hey. No name, thank you for the $5 who says, please don't read out my account name. I worked with Dorsey, Tim, Elon, and Tech in 2013 through 2017. So much rape cover-up. One guy showed his girlfriend's breast implants at a meeting. Yeah, I completely believe it. That sounds just about right for rich white guys. Macy with the $2 on Venmo says, "Are you religious?" No, I'm agnostic. Sometimes I troll about being Christian though, just to like make a point. There's a lot of conservative Christians that won't be willing to even talk to a liberal if they're an atheist. So sometimes I just fuck around with that. So I'm like, I'm getting them able to talk to me. And Jordan, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo. I appreciate you for that love, Jordan. Show some love to Jordan in that chat. Appreciate it, my friend. Appreciate it, Jordan. Everybody's still spamming about Momo. Folks, Momo's downstairs and likely sleeping. So I don't know if Momo will be able to make a guest appearance today, unfortunately. I don't know. I wish Momo would be able to make a guest appearance. I don't think so. I don't think so. What's some other news that we have to cover? Oh, yeah, the Coast Guard. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's the Coast Guard. Declassifying the swastika as a hate symbol. I think that the swastika is the most notorious hate symbol in the history of humans. So if they're declassifying the swastika as a symbol of hate, then what is? I'd actually challenge every single person watching this live to name a hate symbol that is more notorious than the swastika. Because I legitimately can't do it. I don't think that there's a symbol more hateful than the swastika. So I really hope that they that they walk that one back. Somebody in the chat says BLM. I really wish I had guest access so I could invite you up. People in the chat spamming KKK. I think that the swastika is a more notorious hate symbol than like the white robe. But I would say the white robe is up there, right? I'd say that the white robe is like a very close second. The noose? Oh, well, they actually declassified the noose as a hate symbol too. So if it comes down to a competition between the noose and the swastika, which one is the most notorious hate symbol of human history? Well, the Coast Guard declassified them both as hate symbols, so. The lightning bolts? Okay. I'd say that the lightning bolts, right, of the SS, right, would fall under the swastika. I think that the swastika is a more notorious hate symbol than the lightning bolts, since the swastika like represented the Nazis as a whole. Meanwhile, the lightning bolts just represented the SS, but it's now gained this this notoriety for being a hate symbol of the Nazis as a whole. I would say that comes in like a close second though. Like definitely the lightning bolts. I mean, that's just another one of those symbols surrounding white supremacy, Nazism, so on and so forth. Polau, thank you so much for the 20 Canadian dollars over on Super Chat, who says, "Love what you do." Thank you so much, Polau. That's very kind of you. Daniel, thank you for the $2. Appreciate that, man. Kayla with the $2, who says, "You skipped my question about Trump and his boyfriend." I probably didn't see it. I don't know if I wanted to see it. Trump and his boyfriend, dear God. Aubrey, thank you for the $5, who says, "Hey, Dean, genuine question." No doubt. Why can't I see the rest of your... I'm sorry, Aubrey. Venmo's like freaking out. It won't let me see the rest of your donation message. I'm sorry. Safara, thank you for the $5, who says, "I'm Christian, but I personally love watching your streams every day because I absolutely hate Trump and you're a very good debater." Yeah, I think that it's possible to be a really good Christian. I have a lot of friends who are great Christians, and I bet you're one of those great Christians too. Undoubtedly. And then Hope, thank you for the $3 on PayPal, who says, "Dean, of a Canadian Trump supporter comes up, call them Maple Maga." That's what we call them here. Man, I'd love to talk to a Canadian Trump supporter. Like, he literally threatened to annex your country and you still support him? Nuts. And Tess, thank you for the $15 over on Venmo, who says, "Thank you for your platform. All MAGA left are cultists. You've done great." Thank you so much, Tess. You know, honestly, I've seen that. I've seen that trend. I've really seen that trend. In the last year, MAGA's gone from being the typical, the average, the norm, to now being the atypical, the socially deviant, right, cult. And I know that I like whine and complain about how hard it is to find Trump supporters often. But in all reality, that's a good thing. It's a really good thing. There's a huge silver lining there. And for everybody in the chat saying, "Get girlfriend," I don't usually show my girlfriend on live. I try to keep her private. I get a lot of hate, you guys. Like death threats, doxing, are that's an everyday experience for me. And I'm not like public about, my girlfriend, because I don't want that hate to be directed at her either. I think that like, the type of threats that I get, the type of comments that I get every day, right? For most people is something that they just want to be able to deal with. And I know because I wasn't able to deal with it myself at a point and had to like force myself to be able to acclimate to an environment where shit like that would happen every day. And I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. So I definitely wouldn't wish that on my girlfriend. Ryder, thank you for the $5 on Venmo, who says you've changed my views so much, Dean. Oh, dude, that's awesome, Ryder. I'm happy. That's why we're here. Courtney, thank you for the dollar as well over on PayPal. That is very kind of you. All right, folks, we'll probably spend around another 10 minutes on, then we'll hop off. Any last questions here? We'll spend a little bit longer on the questions. I'll take a look. Like I said, if you want to ask a question, feel free to ask it in the chat on TikTok or YouTube. But if you want it to be more likely to get an answer, just ask it on Venmo or PayPal, because I have those open on my phone, and there's also not as many individual send-in questions over there, so it'd be a little bit easier to identify. Shaira, thank you for the $3 on PayPal. He says, who's your favorite song/artist? Backseat Lovers. No contest. From my perspective, I think that the band Backseat Lovers is the best band that has ever existed. I think that the Backseat Lovers are better than Queen. I think that the Backseat Lovers are better than the Beatles. I think that the Backseat Lovers are better than fucking Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson. From my perspective, they are my favorite. They are my all-time favorite. Okay? Now, if you're going to hear that and you're going to be like, damn, like that's crazy, Dean. Like, whoa, you think that they're the best band ever? Yes, I do. They're like all-time GOAT. Greatest of all time, no contest. There's not a single other artist nor band that even comes close to the Backseat Lovers from my perspective. So, but that's just my opinion. If you hold another one, that's fine. Okay? It is very atypical for somebody to genuinely argue that they think like a band that's performing today is the best band in human history. But I do. I'm just big Backseat Lovers fan. Number one fanboy of the Backseat Lovers. Number one fanboy right here, guys. That's me. And they know that too. I talked to their lead singer Joshua a little bit. He knows I fucking love him. Elliot with a $1 says Backseat Lovers better than Queen is Diabolical. No, I mean it. I'll stand on that too. Like I love them. Like, I feel like a 14-year-old fanboy of like One Direction back in 2016. Oh my God! Ah! Like that's me. When it comes to the Backseat Lovers, that is me, motherfucker. Rachel, thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal, who says, I'm 50 years old and love watching your lives whenever possible. I'm a nurse and apparently no longer a professional. Rachel, thank you for the $10. You're much more of a professional than that adjudicated rapist running the country right now, so don't take any shit from that asshole. Erica, thank you for the $10, who says, can you and Parker go live for the holidays so that fans can say hey, people can debate, and non-Trump supporters can talk about important issues? I feel like that'd be a fun, like a holiday stream. That's a good idea. Thank you for the idea, Erica. And Sean, thank you so much for the $25 on Venmo, who says, how did you fall into this? I'm guessing you didn't wake up and say, I have an idea for revenue. Then you went live. What's the story? Well, the story is actually pretty interesting. Have you guys, especially the viewers on TikTok, maybe if you're on YouTube, you won't know too much about this. If you're on TikTok, have you seen like the smaller debate lives that'll have like maybe like 40 viewers, right? Just a bunch of like random people yapping back and forth, right? Because chances are, if you've seen my live, then you've seen like those smaller debate lives. Well, my origin story comes from those smaller debate lives. I used to join those like every day, every night. It was my favorite thing ever. I had a really bad habit of joining those smaller debate lives and staying on one of those panels until like 7 a.m. Like I would go nights without sleeping because of how into debating on those panels I was. And then I inevitably was like, hey, sometimes during the day, like I can't really find these smaller debate panels to join up on. So how do I get debates when I just want to have these conversations to try to change minds? So then I was like, well, what if I just started hosting my own lives? And then I did. I started hosting my own lives. and I'd get a couple viewers here and there. But then one day, a fucking Nazi joined my live, and I shit on this Nazi, and I guess like for whatever reason the algorithm liked it, picked up, got like 2K people in the stream, and then never looked back. And I've been going live nearly every day ever since. And here we are. Here we are. So if you want to know the origins of where I come from, it's because I shit on a Nazi. Shit on a Nazi. That's where it comes from. Dean Withers is who he is today because he shit on a Nazi on some random TikTok live a couple years ago. Alexis, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Says, are the pictures of Trump and Bubba real or AI? Those are AI. Those are AI. It would be funny if they weren't, but they are. Julia, thank you so much for the $5 over on PayPal. Appreciate you. Who says, can you tell us more about yourself? Where does this interest in politics come from? Well, I think honestly, if my interest in politics from its core just comes from growing up with a sister, growing up with a grandma and a mother who I watched get treated like shit because they were women. And I think that is the first thing that really got me politically active right once I started gaining consciousness, was just watching that misogyny and really hating it, and then being oh, fuck this, what else is there? Opening my eyes, and then here we are with everything else. Sean, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo for shitting on a Nazi. I appreciate that, Sean. Thank you. Let's go. W shitting on Nazis. Let's go. Fuck yeah. Thank you for the $20, Sean. That is very kind of you. That is very kind of you. Then Jelani, thank you for the $5 over on PayPal. Thank you. Alexis with a $1 who says the Washington Post says that the Coast Guard did indeed walk back the swastika thing. Good. I'm happy they walked that back. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. W for walking it back. Somebody in the YouTube chat says, wait, you have a sister, Dean? Yes, I have a 24? I have a 24-year-old sister that works in an ER. What a crazy job. She's told me stories about saving life and watching people die. I could never do what she does. She's actually, my sister's pretty cracked, dude. So right now she works in an ER, but she's also worked as a ski instructor. She's worked as a mountain biking instructor. She's worked as a rock climbing instructor. She runs marathons. She's going to med school. My sister's cracked. My sister's just, she's an animal. She's an animal. All right. Oh yeah, she sounds very cool. Yeah, she was cool. I mean, I love her. I love her. I wish that, she did some more work on her political beliefs, right? She never really took too much interest in politics like I did, and just kind of stayed ingrained with what both me and her grew up in. But it's nice to have conversations with her because she's open-minded, at least. She's willing to hear me out. Kimberly, thank you for the $10 who says, thoughts on the male loneliness epidemic? Well, I mean, I think that the male loneliness epidemic is created by toxic masculinity. So, I mean, whenever we're talking about toxic masculinity, we usually are only talking about its impacts on women, which is the main reason why toxic masculinity is bad. So it makes sense that when we're talking about it, mainly only be talking about its impacts on women. Toxic masculinity creates a patriarchy. Toxic masculinity creates rape culture. Toxic masculinity, creates the glass ceiling. But I feel like one other outcome of toxic masculinity that isn't talked about a lot, it should be talked about more, is that in turn it hurts the men. Because if you're a straight man, for instance, and you want to get a girlfriend, you want to find a wife. Well, how do you think women are going to respond to you when you're shouting that they're inferior, that they don't matter as much as you do, they're not as good as you, so on and so forth? They're not going to want to date you, and they're not going to want to be with you. And even if you're a gay man and you're shouting that same shit, right? How do you feel like other gay men are going to feel when you're shouting that women suck, I'm an alt-right incel, right? They're not going to want you either. So the mechanism that has created the male loneliness epidemic, right, is the same mechanism that creates the patriarchy. It's the same mechanism that creates systemic misogyny. It's the same mechanism that creates all these issues that we talk about every single day. Unironically, the antidote to the male loneliness epidemic is feminism. Right? And it's funny. It is so funny because people on the right, they know this, but they don't actually. Because they'll make jokes about like the 6'2" feminists. I'm a performer. I drink my matcha and I read books on the literature of feminism and I so on and so like they make a joke like that's how they're gonna get women. But in all reality, there's some truth rooted in the underlying fact that the rejection of toxic masculinity and treating women like shit is the termination of the male loneliness epidemic. Right? So, I don't know. I think about that one often. I think what we need, what we really need right now is a counter figure to people like Andrew Tate that are podcasters that are male-centered. We need a couple of them. A couple male-centered podcasters. But instead of telling their male audience that they need to hate women and be an incel and call, women sluts and bitches and, so on and so forth. Instead to tell them like, hey, here's how we combat the male loneliness epidemic. Maybe, right, you could construct a better future for yourself because keep in mind, this male-centered podcast. You could construct this better future for yourself by actually being better for those around you, by being a legitimately good person for society, so on and so forth. And I think we need a couple of those. We do. Unfortunately, we do. So a lot of people in the chat are saying you. Well, see, the thing is I'm just like, I'm not like male-centered, like I don't think I could be, right? It's just like not me. Like I'm more focused about like what we could do to make society as a whole better off. But I mean, if there is, somebody out there to be that male-centered counter-programming to people like Andrew Tate that are still like serving to that male audience by focusing on them, but focusing on how they could be better for society as a whole, I think we need a couple people like that. I do. See Melissa, thank you so much for the $20 on PayPal. Who says, any thoughts on the unitary executive theory and how the Trump admin seems to be leaning in? Well, I'm actually not too familiar with the unitary executive theory. I think I've heard about it before. But I only really like to speak on things that I'm really familiarized with, so I won't speak on that. But I'll try to come back to you, Melissa, after doing some more research on the theory. But thank you for the $20. Show some love to Melissa down below. And then Lindsay, thank you for the $10, who says, thank you for keeping me educated. How's living in GJ? I'm from Colorado, and Grand Junction is different. Thanks again. Yeah, Grand Junction is a whole lot different than the rest of Colorado. It's pretty bad over here. I mean, it's pretty, cool mountains, just, people are a little bit rough. And there's not much to do. That's a one big thing I don't like about Junction, where I live, is that there's just simply not much to do. Maybe there's a couple other people watching right now that are from those like small towns that know what it feels like to just have like nothing to do on a Friday night, nothing to do on a Saturday night. It sucks, man. Sometimes it could get a little boring. Sean, thank you so much for the $10. Really appreciate you so much for that love, Sean. Sean says, when are you starting a masterclass? Oh yeah, dude, I need to start selling a course. I'm going to sell you guys a course. I'm going to teach you how to debate. I'm going to make millions. I'm going to finally have the $1 million in the LV bag on my lap, taking the private jet to LA to drop 10 racks. That's right. The masterclass is coming soon. Katie with the $10 on Venmo, who says, they aren't lonely enough, ladies. We can do better. Appreciate you for that love, Katie. Vincera, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. And Brendan with the $5 as well. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Okay. 5:10. It might be time for me to get off. And funny enough, we're actually almost at 10 hours. Whoa, 10 hours? Whoa, 4 hours. We'll stick around. Well, okay, we'll stick around for a little bit longer. I'm enjoying this. We'll take a couple more questions. Once again, if you want to ask me a question, my Venmo, my PayPal could be found in the link tree in my bio. I'm trying to get around to most things I see over there, but there's definitely still a couple questions that I am missing. So if I missed your question, I do apologize. Bailey with the $2 says, I used to be a huge Trump supporter before I saw you in Jubilee. Now I've been watching you ever since. Thank you for educating me and I love your streams. Dude, well, thank you for sharing your testimony with us. Thank you for sharing your testimony with us. A lot of people like to say that these streams don't work. They fucking do. Sonny, thank you for the $5. She says, I recently moved to a small town in Wisconsin. Moving from Phoenix to the top 5 highest population in America to a small town of 10K is crazy and boring. Sonny, what caused you to move if you don't mind me asking? Abby with the $3 on Venmo says, have you considered moving to a blue state? Yes, actually. I've been considering moving to LA for a while, but I just don't want to like fulfill that like common trope of like, oh, gain some followers on social media, then moves to LA. Right? Like I don't want that to be me, so I've been holding off. But what I will say, it'd be very advantageous for me to do so, because if I were to move to LA, then I would be able to like start an in-person sit-down podcast with Trump supporters, because there's so many out there. There's also a lot of big names out there to be able to invite them down to sit down in person. So it's just like a genuine consideration that I'm making right now. But it'd just be like pretty expensive. It'd be pretty expensive. That'd be an expensive move. Average, thank you for the $20 over on Super Chat, who says, I live in a small town with less than 700 people in the middle of nowhere and less than nothing to do on a Friday night. Yes, 700 people is crazy. 700 people is crazy. Like, oh my goodness. I don't know why. I couldn't do that. William with the $5 who says, used to be Maga, but you and Parker changed my mind. Thanks for educating me. Dude, that's awesome. I'm really happy to hear that. Let's go. Let's go. And oh my God, Jackie. That is Jackie. Jackie, motherfucker. Thank you so much for the $150. Over on Venmo, Chris with $165. What the hell? Did you guys mean to do that? Was that like play? Dude, holy shit. Show some love to Jackie for the $150. Oh my God. I do not deserve that love, Jackie. That's nuts. Jackie with $150 says, do you see running for office in the future, and where would you start if so? I do. I don't see the certainty of running for office in my future. I see the possibility of it. And if I were to run for office, I would probably start with a house. Or depending on where I'm at, right? Maybe 10 years in the future, I have a really large platform built out. I'm super ingrained in politics, and I really got a, good brain on my shoulders. I could try to start off with like being the governor of a state. I'd say either the House, or best chance scenario, I'm really far ingrained, right? Running like in a gubernatorial race, one of the two, right? But it just really depends on like where I'm at, how well established I am, so on and so forth. But once again, Jackie, thank you so much for the $150. It is so very kind of you. Insane. And then Chris with $165. Thank you, man. Says, remind olds that they are too old to do proper research. If I had to guess, I feel like Chris, I'm looking at your donations here. Chris sent a donation to Parker 3 days ago, said guest is too old to do adequate research. Sent a donation to Parker 7 days ago, who says tell old callers that your age, that they're out of touch. Okay. Chris, you went to Parker last year who said judgment is easy, knowledge is hard. Don't let olds who quit learning to talk shit. Dude, Chris, buddy, thank you for the $165. But I regret to inform you that you will be old at some point in your future. It seems like dude spent like a fair amount of his life in the last couple of years really holding something against old people. I mean, dude, it seems like Chris, I feel like it's something more than that for you. Yeah, there's plenty of old people that are still learning, plenty of old people that are still still doing well for themselves and the world around them. My dude's literally saying old's like it's a slur. Like, dude, Chris, listen, I think that you need to deconstruct your ageism just a little bit. just a little bit, but I do really appreciate you for the love. And there is also a lot of old people that are very dogmatic. A lot of old people that are very tribalistic. And maybe Chris has just seen a lot of them. Aaron, thank you so much for the $75 on Venmo. Jeez, dude. Thank you so much for the love, Aaron. Aaron with the $75 says, you need to run for office, even if you won't win injunction. I'm the chief of staff for a small city, and the voice of young progressive people in the conversation is desperately needed. Yeah, I think that young progressive people are really what this country needs and what this country wants. I mean, look at Zoran Mamdani. You know, the coolest political story that we've seen told, like, since Obama, honestly. No name to meeting with Trump and having Trump slob all over his knob in less than a year. All because he's a young progressive with a good mind in his head. Christiane, thank you for the $25. She says, I think Thanksgiving Day may be a good day for debates because I'd love to get some of my family members up to debate. I'm sure others would too. No, you're totally right. You're so totally right. If I were to do like a little live, like during Thanksgiving dinners, I feel like we would have one of the most interesting streams ever. But the question is, do I skip my own Thanksgiving dinners to do that? Probably not. Although I will say that would be very interesting. Yo, Julia, thank you for the $67. Fucking hell, you guys. Thank you so much. Julia with the $67 says, I just turned 67. So here's $67 for your move to LA. Well, I don't know if I'm going to make that move, but thank you for the love, Julia. Also, happy 67th birthday. That's a big one. That's a big one. 67. A big birthday, Julia. Thank you so much for the love. Let's see here. Santana, thank you for the $5. Saying TikTok debate starting in 5. What's the lineup? Oh, they're terrible today. I'll send you a raid. Lion, thank you for the $10. Who says, I think that Colorado is better than living in Florida surrounded by Trump supporters. Yeah, I definitely prefer my small little town in Colorado over Florida. I'm going to just be honest. Like, I went to Florida once. I wasn't a fan. I was not a fan at all. Didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. Let's see. Yo, Corinne, thank you so much. Sorry, not Corinne. Corey, that is C-O-R-I. Thank you for the $20 on PayPal. He says, from Corey, beautiful as is. Stop saying that you don't deserve the donations. You've opened up, let's see here. Oh, you've opened a lot of eyes and gotten a lot of people into politics in and outside the border. Also sucks PayPal takes such a cut from what we send to you, especially in Canada. Well, so you could actually just send it as like friends and family. I don't know if I'm technically supposed to tell you that you could do that, but you can. And it'll like save the cut. But anyways, I really appreciate you so much for that love, Corinne. See, the thing is I don't know. I still don't think I deserve it. I will forever just be so totally grateful for you guys. Seriously. I'll always be grateful. Fucking always. And then Peter, dude, thank you for the $75 on Venmo, who says, if you ever do move to LA, let me read the rest of your donation here, man. It would be my biggest honor to help you find a house. In quotations, I'm a realtor. You know what, Peter? You know what, Peter?